happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the Reformed Orthodox Rabbi himself, Bill Clinton.
I'm so glad we're going to talk about that. I've just seen someone on Twitter has posted, you know how like the people are modding Elden Ring to get something. There's a Bill Clinton mod.
Already, it's been less than 24 hours and someone's already modded Bill Clinton into Elden Ring. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back here. We're going to be hopefully having some fun discussing all the things that happened at the Game Awards, all the things that have happened in gaming in the past couple of weeks and stuff like that, and catching up and having a good time.
Yeah, buddy.
How you been, first of all, bro?
Well, good.
There you go. That's it. Still stuck to that.
Yeah, so not to like complain, because both of us hate sort of complaining on camera, but you've said this thing, and since you said it the first time a few years ago, I've started to realize you're 100% right, which is that anytime you have any spare money or anything's going well, the universe decides, no, that's it.
I'm taking that from you.
Yeah. So, and I always thought you're so stupid for just spending your money, right? But the fact is, when you didn't, it just got... Anyway, so I've had a very similar thing, and now after I got locked out of my flat, locked out of my flat, managed to enter. I did manage to get back in, and then to prevent the issue, because the lock's bugged, I had to pull the lock off the door. So now my door will not shut unless I use the chub lock, right? The deadbolt, which on the surface doesn't sound too much if you're just going in and going out, right? But this morning it was -5 and there was so much ice on my car that I was running in and out trying to get like water, and I didn't want my flat open.
It's just all this minor inconvenience.
Yeah, so I'm running in with this 2 litre bowls, put that down, open the lock, take the key out of the lock so I don't, okay, cool, pick them up, get the water, come back out, okay, shut the door. Oh my God, it just added.
Yeah.
Normally I get in my car and I drive here, and the drive itself is like half an hour, 45 minutes depending on traffic. This morning, half an hour just trying to de-ice my car. Well, also it was very cold. And then anyway, it's minor inconvenience. It's like first world problems and stuff. And I just got back from Birmingham and like for work stuff. Like, it's just a ball.
It's all those little things, like, those little things in life where, like, if you, like, say you're making yourself a tea. You take out the tea bag and you accidentally drop the tea bag. You're like... Is that, but just 1,000 of them, and it's like, okay, enough now.
Mine was actually slightly worse, which was you take the tea bag out and you realise half the tea has come out the bag. That's
ripped at the
yeah.
No,
and you're like, oh, it's a whole new tea bag. Oh, that's been my life like the last week. Yeah, what you said.
You saw my tweet earlier about the like the backlog of games that I want to play over the Christmas, and I like the meme of the Asian guy with a cigarette, and he's just like.
Yeah,
that's the feeling.
That's it. And I know as well, because we went back to back. You had one of those weeks, and then like last week or the week before, and I'm having it, and it's just. I'm just glad to be here and talking gaming, man.
I was going to say, I will say there is one...
And I worked hard to be here this morning. I'm going to enjoy this podcast.
It's like, no, we're having poker night no matter what.
Yeah.
It's like there is one consistent part throughout this whole thing. It's because we've reduced the number of podcasts. Our happiness has gone down.
Agreed.
Because we're not doing this.
I agree.
So that's why we're back here today.
I think we should force James and Tyler back into the podcasting life, but they have to do every single one with us.
Aha! Yes. James, forget your advent calendar thing that's clearly failing.
Right. And it's killing you, bruv. This is for your own good.
Have you seen the edits that he's posted online?
No.
So in the new YouTuber Studio app, if your video performs well, it comes up with a little box saying this video is performing better than other videos normally in this time period. Blah, blah, blah. If you do worse, it's like this video isn't performing as well as before. It's very kind and everything like that. He's edited it to make it seem brutal.
Yeah.
Whereas
it should be, by the way. I want detail. Because
it's like this video sucks. You shouldn't have made it. You've wasted your time and your life. You failure. And I'm like, whoa.
Not only is this video not good, what got it in your head that it was good?
Right.
Why did you make it? You invested your own time into this. You're never getting that time back.
It's like, you enjoy this stuff? Yeah. Are you fucking mental?
You thought somebody else would enjoy this? You've wasted your time and 17 people's time. There is a combined 52 minutes of wasted time. No one's getting the back. The world is a poorer place because of it. Yeah,
because of you. Well, I know, because he doesn't watch this. One day I'm just going to make an edit of like one of my own videos and put that in there. But this is worse than a James video.
Yeah.
So
like
Slayer.
Instead of this, people could have watched a Lasers video and been better off. No, I actually would prefer that. So I manage, my cousin started a YouTube channel, a mate of mine's got a YouTube, so I'm like, because I do the back end stuff for them, and all the cross linking and shit like that. And I really do wish the YouTube studio would just do that and be like, okay, for real, sorry boys, we'll get to gaming, I swear to God, but just a bit of YouTube talk. Like, I wish it would be like, 90% of your videos hit these audiences. None of those were interested in this. Okay, cool. You know, like
zero. Yeah, nobody liked this.
Tear the video apart. Like, usually you have 17% subscriber engagement, 3% subscriber. Like, I want all the stats for the video, where you flopped, and be like, okay, cool. What am I missing?
It's just a meme, and it's like the black guy said, "This wasn't it.
This wasn't it. Yeah, this wasn't it, fam." Like, the thing is, I'm looking at the video. I know it didn't do well. YouTube trying to be kind to me. I need to know why it's not working.
It's the sensitive times we live in. If you tell them, it's like, YouTube, the bot at YouTube hurt my feelings.
Like, relax. I don't identify as a successful YouTuber. It's okay. You can hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you can hurt me. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in again to the True Gaming Podcast. Thank you guys for sticking around. A bunch of you guys do message us to say like, we miss you guys, and I really appreciate it. It's nice to know you guys are out there, and you did enjoy the things we did, and we'll just do it for nothing. So thank you for that. As I said, today we're going to be talking about the TGAs first of all, and then we're going to be talking about other news that's been going on. For example, Xbox raising the prices of their games to $70 after they said they wouldn't.
Bastards! And that's not pro gaming. Wait. You said PlayStation or Xbox did it?
I said Xbox, but really we do know it's PlayStation's fault.
I mean, it's all PlayStation's fault.
It is.
And they ruined the market, and you can't blame Xbox for having to keep up.
They were forced. Their hand was forced. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that. And we'll talk about some other DLCs and stuff that were announced.
Yeah, okay. Boy. Oh, yeah.
Let's kick into the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Fuck the Game Awards. It's rigged. Everything was bullshit.
100% rugged.
Nothing makes... The TGAs have now lost all credibility. It was great up until now.
Do these awards mean nothing to you, Jeff?
Exactly. Elden Ring apparently got Game of the Year, but it was clearly rigged, and then the ballots were stuffed, and all this stuff like that. Fake election.
We were talking about this last night, because obviously we were talking about this last night. The original branding for the show, if you are one of the newer guys, the original branding for our podcast was Welcome to Conbrosations, where we record conversations we were going to have anyway and put them up on the internet. And that is true, because all of this stuff we would be talking about anyway.
Yeah.
My knee-jerk reaction was to be angry, because obviously Elden Ring isn't Game of the Year.
Obviously, coming like
and then you brought up a good point, and I'm thinking about it. And the reality is, more people got to play Elden Ring.
Yeah,
and that is a really good point. That's why it could have the volume. The reality is Elden Ring a better game than God of War? No, it's not. You can, which is totally different. You can enjoy it. You can enjoy it more. You can like it more than God of War. Is it better? Those are two different things. Right? Like a gourmet hamburger that's cooked at home is going to be better than McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you might not enjoy the process. You might enjoy just being able to pop out in 5 seconds, 5 minutes, get a burger, right? And you might just prefer the way it tastes. Yeah. But it isn't better, right? So I'm not saying whether or not you like it is the issue.
Here's the thing I want to point to. The people that are probably shouting at the screen. These fucking guys and stuff like that.
And I know Elden Ring is beloved. Yeah. I didn't like it. Well, but again, it's a great game. It's a fantastic game.
Well, here's the thing. There are a ton of people that say that Red Dead Redemption 2 is better than God of War 2018.
Yeah.
The ton of people that say that, they're wrong. But there are a ton of people that say that. But God of War 2018 won.
That's how you know who shouldn't get a driver's license.
Exactly. Yeah. But God of War 2018 won the Game of the Year that year. So the exact same thing applies right here. If you believe that the Game of the Year didn't win that year, then it's very easy that someone else could believe that the Game of the Year didn't win this year. So... it's all a matter of opinion.
I know what you're saying, and I'm going to defend my defense of Ragnarok here.
Go on.
Which is not that, okay, the awards don't count, blah, 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 because I get that, right? I feel that giving Elden Ring Game of the Year, again, and like, it's not exactly apples and oranges or whatever, because of supply chain issues with like the number of people that had the PlayStation and stuff. But that it's about as honest as saying like Cyberpunk was the best PlayStation game. Like it's
That-
not quite
yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
Right? like if the award had been most played or most enjoyed, I would agree. I think more people enjoyed Elden Ring just by numbers, right? Like 13 million people as opposed to whatever it was for God of War. Do we have the numbers for God of War? I'm sure they're out there, but
somewhere out there.
Yeah.
And it was 5.1 million sold in the first week or something like that, which was
ridiculous,
crazy.
especially on one console
Yeah.
or ecosystem. But like, okay, number of people that enjoyed Elden Ring, it's going to be more than God of War because more people had access to it. You could play it anywhere. Playability, yeah, absolutely. Like I get all that, but the award was best game. Game of the year. Like, what was the best game? And it wasn't Elden Ring. And I'm not saying Elden Ring isn't great or amazing. I'm saying Ragnarok is better.
That's our stance right here. We went against the grain last year, and we gave game
true.
of the year to Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going against the
Yeah.
grain this year as
I mean,
well.
First of all, Guardians of the Galaxy deserved it.
Yeah.
It's because everybody, and us included, thought it was going to be another Marvel's Avengers.
It was just
Yeah.
taken aback.
But the difference between God of War and Red Dead Redemption is that they sold pretty similarly.
Yeah,
And also, Red Dead shit.
exactly.
You know? And so obviously God of War 2018 is
It's just a bad game.
yeah. Red Dead sucks.
Excuse the collector edition right behind his head, by the way. Just
Which Red Dead
yeah, like that. It was just a little bit. Yeah, we go. Excuse me.
yeah. Shit. It's shit.
All right, so yeah, Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everyone over at FromSoft, all the guys over there. You did a fantastic job. You got this award. Congratulations. There was a
Earned as well. Like, even though look, I do genuinely think Ragnarok is the better game.
yeah.
And you know, you might again forget enjoyment, right? But like, if it was going to anyone else, it was gonna have to be Elden Ring,
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly.
and the game is fantastic. I don't like it, but the game is fantastic. It is a 9 or a 10 for sure.
Yeah. And there was like good congratulations between both of the teams.
saw
It was all
some
very
nice gifts,
amicable.
yeah.
It's really nice like that. However, the Game of the Year award, the actual award itself, was a bit overshadowed by some random kid
Yeah.
that snuck onto the stage while I can't remember his name, but the main guy who was giving the speech for the award. Kind of overshadowed because as soon as he was done, this kid just randomly goes up to the podium mic and is like, I would like to nominate the newly reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. It's like, thank you very much. And we're just like, hold on, wait, what? What's
The thing
going
is,
on?
the way he just walks up there, it looks like he's part of the show. He acts like he belongs.
I saw him in the back and I was like, he looks a bit young, looks a bit odd, but
Yeah.
I wasn't about to go judge the whole guy when we're hearing the acceptance speech for the Game of the Year.
Right.
So I just went, oh, no problem. But he does act like I belong here.
This is the thing. One, like there has to be some security at this event, and what were they doing? Like,
So, literally, someone said to me, it's like, what if, and this is the dark way of thinking about it, what if he didn't go up there to make a joke?
Yeah.
What if it was something way worse?
right?
He was just there.
He was just there. The other thing is, and
He had a
this is
fucking trench coat on.
Yeah,
Anything
that's,
can
the,
be up
that's
to
the
that.
thing. That's the thing, isn't it? He wasn't like, he clearly wasn't part of the team. He was dressed very differently and like very different age bracket and all that stuff.
They were all Asian, and these guys.
That was
this
a major one. I wasn't even going to touch it, but yeah.
You don't notice race, so that's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
the racist here.
Well, do you know what? He should have come up and done his speech in my accent. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But like, if you genuine thing and try this out safely, don't be stupid. But like acting like you belong somewhere, is 90% of belonging somewhere, and the other 10%, if you don't possess it, you know, actually get an iPad and a high vis jacket.
You look so official.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be there. And as long as you act like you're supposed to be there, in most situations, unless like security really is on the ball, like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You just walk into places and be like,
And that's literally
"Where's
what
the
happened.
yeah?" And I mean that's how you operate, and that's what this kid did. He just turned up, and also he was dressed as like, "Hey, I'm villain Neo from like Reverse Matrix," you know?
Oh, man.
we are one nightmare universe away from, like, in an alternate universe, that guy gets up there, says his speech, and then Neo's the coat and pulls.
Right. And then there's a plainclothes
Pulls up some Uzis.
officer there. He's just like, holy shit. And then just. Anyway, can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Because this has plagued me since that moment.
Yeah.
And no one's had an answer. What the fuck did he mean?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what.
Is there something that I don't know about Bill Clinton being a rabbi or an Orthodox rabbi, or he's newly reformed, he's found some faith?
As far as I'm aware, there are two answers potentially.
Go on.
One, the dude is like one of those autistic 4chan type guys that... Do you remember when Shia LaBeouf, that guy, was having like his whole mental breakdown over Trump, and he went and put a flag somewhere on some roof, and then 4chan found it in like 2 hours and pulled it down, and like, do you remember this?
Oh, they found the flag.
They found the flag.
Oh shit, that's
then
insane.
He went and put a flag. I think it was like I don't know if it was an American flag, but it was a flag. The point of the flag being up was like, Trump won't ruin America, right?
Right.
And just to mess with Shia LaBeouf, so the guys found it, right? Then he goes and puts it in the middle of a field, and all you could see was the flag and the sky.
Right.
And within like 3 days, they found it and pulled it down. But
That
based
is
off
some
like
autistic shit.
off like planes in the background, they figured out where it was and got it right.
That's fucking nuts.
Ridiculous. So either he's one of those guys, and he was someone bet him like no one could get into the Game Awards and say this. That's possibility one. Possibility two: the man is up to his eyeballs in hardcore droogs. And I don't see there being a third possibility because
it just don't make sense.
None of those words make sense. Individually, any of those words might make sense in a sentence.
It sounds like a random sentence generator from like an AI script.
Yeah.
It's like, those do fit in a sentence,
Yeah.
they're words, it just bears no relevance to
it's
real
like,
life.
I need a word for getting better. I need a religious title and a public figure. Okay. The Reformed
It's just... I loved it for two reasons. One, because it was something exciting at the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Because the game of the year was now void and everything.
Yeah.
But then
That's
also,
the worst thing,
took over the internet. And I was like, yes. And now we've got the Elden Ring thing.
That is the absolute worst thing about it, which is Elden Ring is deserving of an award of this caliber, right?
Yeah.
And I do genuinely, if we're talking about do they stack up, if we did a pro-con list, honestly, I don't think Elden Ring beats God of War.
Yeah.
So fine, I don't agree. But it's totally worthy of that like level of award, and it definitely beats it in certain areas and shit. Cool. This guy came and shit on effectively the two best games of like, well, one, this generation easily.
Yeah.
Elden Ring and God of War. Because if the worst thing is because Elden Ring got overshadowed and Elden Ring overshadowed God of War. So God of War's been like double overshadowed by freaking the Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. It's yeah.
Anyway, other cool things that did happen at the Game Awards. Al Pacino opened the awards. Fucking insane. He's an old man, and he couldn't see the teleprompter and stuff like that, so he rambled a little bit. But that happened. Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey was there, and they came on stage with Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, and they both read the parts for their respective people together. It was kind of cute. I felt like.
God of War won like 6 awards or something.
Yeah, God of War won 6 out of the 10 nominations that it was up for, like best narrative, sound design, accessibility, all these other great things and whatnot, which was all very well deserved.
Here's one of the problems about why I'm sort of saying God of War is the best game of the year. The problem is, it reasonably could have won every award. And I'm not saying it's the best game. I'm saying like the sound design, for example, was incredible, but so was Elden Ring's, right? So it reasonably could have won everything. And let's say there was only each one award. So it's like, oh, best sound design was the only award going up. Could have easily won that. Best narrative could have easily won that, right? You cannot give every single award to God of War. It's just not. It's not fair. It's not appropriate. Even if it did have better sound design than Elden Ring, as an example, you got to give something to Elden Ring. It was freaking amazing. It's an incredible game. So difficult situation when you only have 10 awards and you have two, especially just those two games, reasonably could have won either one of any of those
It was
awards.
two titans battling it out, basically, and I had to go to somebody.
Exactly, it did have to go to somebody. And the big real problem is that there were only 10 awards. They should have done like 15 or 20 because like where's our best supporting actor or something for like that Danny
That was the biggest snub in my opinion. Well, first of all, Horizon Forbidden West didn't get any awards in this whole thing, which is a little bit out of order. They did good work.
Horizon Forbidden West, as much as I hate to say, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah,
it is fantastic. And my big issues, like it was never going to win narrative, for example, right? But like some of the acting accolades could have easily won those. Sound design, easily. The score, easily. Anything music related, right? Like, and
I would have said some visual art stuff as well. Like,
absolutely. Like, cool, if you were gonna visually, I hate to say it, but visually, I'd say Horizon's better than God of War.
Yeah, especially in terms of like designing all of that world and making it actually look like it is a messed up San Francisco.
Yep.
All of those robots,
enemy design and stuff. Exactly, yeah. And which isn't to say God of War isn't just gorgeous. Oh my god! Yeah. But like, also, how do they do that? Those Horizon and God of War, how do they look that good?
It's literally just like, okay, they hire a bunch of people to do the job, and they're like, "You guys code, right?" It's like, yeah. I'm just gonna do everything in this room where you guys can't see it, and it's just wizardry.
Ignore the wizards.
Yes, I've done it. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Ignore all the owls coming in and out. For only ever communicate, give the message to the owl, but do no other way.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So like, the idea that Horizon won nothing,
pretty bad.
That seems unrealistic. And then like how so many supporting actors got not snubbed, but like they
the fact that it was only one category is so odd because Sully, what's the kid's name?
Oh god,
the guy who plays Atreus, Sully something or another. He also didn't get anything, and I don't know if he's a bit of a eccentric child because I don't know too much about him, and obviously he's gathered this fame now from such a young age. He seemed a bit upset about it, almost like he was like, "Man, I should have really won that." And I was like, "It's your supporting, you're the duo and whatnot, and technically he's the main guy. You shouldn't be upset." But I was like, he did do a good job.
He did so do did Danielle. So did
so many people did such a great job, and unfortunately, they could only pick one. And I'm like, well, fuck. Christopher Judge did do a good job. What are we gonna do? Say no?
Just in God of War, Freya, Atreus, Brock, and Sindri, and Mimir, minimum. Any one of those could have won an award for like supporting roles. Anyone, and then within like let's say Horizon. Val
I like Ryan Hurst as well. That was a fantastic Thor.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Oh, yeah. He was a brilliant Thor. He was fantastic. Odin was incredible.
Yeah,
like so that's 7 in just God of War for like supporting or like potentially 2 for villain or whatever, right? Or maybe 3 for villain if you include Freya. Like there's a bunch of that's just one game. Not to like harp on about God of War. So we had 7 potential winners for other titles in just God of War. And then what, you're telling me none of the actors in like Horizon were worthy of an award?
Exactly.
Really? Because I can think of like 5 off the top of my head who should have won something where it was reasonable. And then at least in that case, Elden Ring doesn't really have supporting roles. So
I wonder what the solution is for that. Do you just make like 5 best performances or something like that? Does that make it too much? Does it cheapen the actual award? I don't know what the solution is.
I don't know, because the other thing is like, why is it only the leads that seem to win this stuff? Like, why do we not get best villain?
Yeah.
Because the game,
best protagonist, best antagonist.
The antagonist is so important to the game.
Yeah.
It's what really drives a lot of it to happen. So, like, really, we're not going to do that?
Perhaps they like I just said, like perhaps they just want to keep it as simple and as distilled as possible. They're just like the best actor, the best. If we start breaking it into things, we go into the weeds. So we're just going to do that one thing. Yeah, but I just feel like you leave a lot of
superstars.
I was going to say you leave a lot of respect just completely ungiven and whatnot.
And then also it's on the actor who most of them mostly they have good taste where they come in and say, look, I couldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Basically Christopher Judge did that. He came in and said, look, this I can't do this
a
without
very
these
long
guys.
speech at the beginning.
Yeah, and also fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, for real, like without Atreus, Kratos is rudderless. Without Freya to push him in certain directions, and then like the changes that happen.
Yeah.
Without Ryan Hurst as Thor, like without Odin, like without these things, Mimir, Sindri, and Brock, like the whole thing falls apart. Like it really, it's not a case of one guy shines. It's a case of like what they say about standing on the shoulders of giants sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like he needs all of those people to be able to deliver that. Also, the award that should have gone to Christopher Judge was Best Actor, Best Non-Verbal Actor, because his best scenes, he doesn't say anything. Or like those two scenes I'm thinking where there's that one scene where he like undresses when he's going to sleep.
Yeah.
For the first time you get the dream, and he's just there, like it's just that it's something in his lip and chin. I don't know what he did.
Even the ending scene, which I'm not going to detail anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Just him, the way he looks, you can see his face from just the side of his face.
Also, with
You're like,
so
"Yo!"
much of his face covered with beard as well. Like, how are they selling it? So, like, there's 15 awards just in God of War that we could have given out for acting. And then the same again in at least Horizon. Like, it's just...
Not Elden Ring, because there is no acting.
Yeah, and there's no game. It's shit. We just
Can be completed in 7 minutes. What kind of a game is that?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, less even.
Anyway, those are the awards.
Yeah.
A lot of deserved awards, a lot of really good work, a lot of good recognition in the industry. Just goes to prove how big games are, how great gaming is, that we've managed to get fucking Al Pacino up there and all these other huge actors.
The game's so big, God of War had to roll credits twice while I was playing it.
Daniel Craig was there, and for better or for worse, Ryan Johnson was there. So all these people were there, and it's just shows how legit gaming is now, and it's the best.
I mean, we've been saying for like 10 plus years, it is the best entertainment media form by a long way.
Exactly. And hold on to that thought, because that is going to come back later when we talk about stuff relating to DC. But some announcements. They did drop some big announcements. None of them for Xbox, which is...
What? Crazy. There's nothing to play on Xbox? What? No.
This is the thing.
Even though they're putting their game prices up to $70 a game.
It's
crazy.
So... all of the so Reggie was there, Doug Bowser was there from Nintendo, Phil Spencer was there from Xbox.
Of course he was there, yeah.
No Jim Ryan, no nothing from PlayStation or anything like that, just the people from the studios and stuff like that.
I do find weird though.
So weird. Since Why PlayStation were you not there, bruv?
Since they pulled out of that first E3 in 2019, they've just stopped turning
why would you
PlayStation has stopped turning up to events. There are people from studios, but like,
well, this is the thing. They like the head. I don't know why the heads wasn't there. It seems so disrespectful
weird,
as well, because this is the celebration of our medium right here. Anyway,
also,
regardless,
the game that you made, like the game,
Yeah.
God of War is going up for its awards. Like,
be there, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, however, all of these announcements, not one Xbox announcement for anything.
Crazy.
Now, some people are saying that, it's because they're under the scrutiny of the FTC that they didn't want to show anything. And I'm like, I don't know, man.
No, it's only that one deal that's under the scrutiny.
Also, it's like...
And the issue is an acquisition, not the games.
Also, the things that the FTC are saying, like, they seem to be... I would need to give them credit where credit is due, because I thought they would just be stupid lawmakers that don't understand anything. Yeah. They seem to show... they've demonstrated that they know something.
An understanding of the marketplace.
Right.
Yeah.
They're bringing up stuff. I'm like, oh my God, you sound like you listen to our podcast or something like that. Like... People,
you sound like you listen to our podcast to get the right idea and then know what you're talking about with business.
So I was completely gutted. So they know what's going on. It's not like if you would suddenly go, all right, Avowed, guys. They're going to go, aha! Let me write down Avowed. I never knew about that game.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So that's a weak argument. I don't believe in that.
No, I don't believe that at all.
But it's really bad because Xbox didn't have anything for 2022. No first-party games come out in 2022 from Xbox.
Halo Infinite came out this year, didn't it?
No, last year.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. So it's the entire...
Also, it was a massive flop.
Exact, that as well. So even if it did come out, it's like, But they didn't have anything this year. They're saying that the 2023 is going to be stacked. It's going to be loaded. But that's what they say every year.
With what Exactly.
Well, they pushed back Starfield and they pushed back Redfall.
Yeah.
And they have Forza
Well,
every
thank God.
single year.
Could you imagine Starfield went up against God of War
That'd have been a
or Elden Ring?
bloodbath.
Yeah.
Now, those still don't have dates. They are still dateless. So who knows if they're
they
going
were
to
ready
get...
this year though. So obviously,
Exactly. This is the skepticism that we're going there. But the thing is that if they were supposed to come out this year and they've been pushed back, you would think it would be like early 2023.
yeah.
Game Awards would be a perfect place to show stuff off, but they didn't show anything off, which just brings up more doubts and more questions. And it's not like you can say, well, Xbox, they don't feel like the Game Awards is a big enough event because they revealed the Xbox Series X at Game Awards.
And also
they
Phil
clearly
Spencer
legitimize it.
they sent Phil Spencer there.
It's all just so strange. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that bit, and it's very odd. It's not doesn't fill us with confidence with what Xbox is doing, but who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows? I guess we'll see when a game comes out eventually.
Every single time, and this isn't a Sony pony, it's Xbox are letting us down. If you have to pick and you can find it, you should be on PlayStation because they're bringing you games, they're bringing you the highest caliber of game, and they're actually stuff's coming out.
That's the main point. When someone says to me, I was like, why? Because there's actually something to play.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, you play with third parties wherever you like, and if you like playing that, then all right, you
Those
get
also
an
run
Xbox.
better on PlayStation, but anyway, regardless,
Exactly.
this generation.
But you can get those third parties as well on PlayStation, and as well you get these additional possibilities if you choose to. So why wouldn't you go for that anyway? That's all besides my point now.
There is only one reason where it makes sense to get an Xbox, and weirdly, the Xbox it makes sense to get is the Series S. If you don't care about gaming and you don't really have anything that you particularly look forward to, you're not super competitive, you just want something there to play some games here and there, right? And some of those games are going to include, like, I don't know, frickin' Street Fighter for like 2 games and you put it down and watch a movie or something, right? Then Xbox and Game Pass makes a lot of sense.
A couple $100 on the console.
You do.
Get that Game Pass.
Yeah, you get a console that can play sort of current gen-ish kind of games, but you weren't going to play the most
you
amazing
weren't
stuff.
serious about gaming anyway. So
you were going to put an hour or 2 on the newest like Gears of War, and it was going to take you 6 months to finish the game. Well, yeah, okay, fine,
yeah,
cool. It makes sense because you should save as much money as possible if you're not really into it. Like same with movies. Like if you don't care about like Top Gun Maverick, should you go and take your girlfriend or wherever and spend basically £100 on a day out to see Top Gun Maverick? No, you should wait for it to come onto Amazon and rent it for $5.99 and watch it at home, right? If you don't care about the experience. If you do care about the experience, was Top Gun Maverick worth that day out? Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going for the best.
Right, exactly. So, and I really, really don't. Every time something Xbox comes up, it's like the only reason to get one is to save as much money as possible because you don't really care. If you actually care, what? I hate this because I used to be such an Xbox.
The only part of that argument that really gets me is that it's not a direct comparison. It's not like you get the exact same thing on Xbox as you get the exact same thing on PlayStation because there are exclusives that make it different, and the caliber of exclusives are just way higher. And it's like then the argument of value or cost or anything is completely null and void because it's not the same thing. Yeah. It's like going, well, why would I buy a Ferrari when I can buy a Nissan Micra? It's like
Micra's got 4 wheels.
But it's not the same.
Petrol. No, 4 wheels uses petrol. What are you talking about? Goes on the motorway just the same. Speed limit 70, isn't it?
It's true, exactly.
And everybody sticks to the speed limit.
Anyway,
that's
that point. It's unfortunate, but there'll be no things that we're going to mention here about Xbox because there just wasn't anything there.
Well, there's nothing to play.
Exactly. But you think maybe something in the future will be there, but still nothing. Anyway, the biggest announcement, in my opinion, was that we got the reveal of Death Stranding 2. Or
you thought that
they're calling it DS2. I don't know what the fuck is going on. They're like, Death Stranding 2 is a working title?
You misunderstand. It's actually a Nintendo announcement. They're bringing out a DS2.
Oh, that's it. They're bringing out on the Nintendo DS2.
And they just had Kojima for work on the ad. That's why you think it's something very different.
Oh, God, could you imagine? Anyway, they brought out this trailer. It showed fragile Leah Sado without her aged body. Despite her
Yeah.
being aged in the last one from walking through the time fall.
Yeah, we're not really sure what's going on.
She had a baby in her hands.
Yeah.
She tried to run away on a unicycle at one point. She fell in the mud.
I
and I
hate
was like,
Kojima so much. Also,
I love him.
Here's a question.
He's the best.
Here's a question. How does mud happen? Rain, timefall, right? So is it time mud or just regular mud?
This is the question, because it's like, was it when it touches the ground, it becomes normal water again or something
What
like
about when
that?
you drink?
Oh, I'm on the inside. Because there's a time as well in the Death Stranding 1 where you can go to a hot spring and you can just get naked and get swimming in the water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but was that...
Hold on a minute.
How does...
I need to remember the water cycle. How does this all work?
Anyway, she falls in the mud. She manages to get back and...
Oh no, my unicycle.
Oh no, my unicycle. And Sam Porter Bridges turns up and he's noticeably older. Now his hair's all white and his face doesn't look that much aged, but his hair's all white. Somehow he's older, so people are like, so is he from the future? But Lea Seydoux' body isn't damaged like it was from back in the last game, so she's either cured herself or this is the past, but he's from the future, or he's time for... No one understands what's going on, and this is Kojima for you.
Luckily, once you've played the game all the way through, maybe 3 or 4 times, you still won't know what's going on. You know? Freaking Kojima, man.
This is what I love
Why
about
is
Kojima.
he smoking?
Bro, the ending was the best.
Do you know?
The ending...
I've got the actual answer.
Go on.
That kid got into Kojima's stash.
That's
why he wanted to nominate the Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton, because he got into Kojima's shit.
He just wasn't experienced enough with the shit.
Yeah, he
that
basically
Kojima goes
OD'd on whatever, like
took
Kojima and
he was like,
and Michael Sheen.
Ah!
Yeah. Tiger Blood. Winning.
it was mad. It was... The ending really was another crackfest thing at the end. It was like these guys in red suits, but then their chest cavity is like semi-see-through and you can see the intestines, and he's got the Amelie face on it with the hair. And I'm guessing, I mean, it could be Amelie because of the hair, but people were thinking maybe it's Troy Baker. And I'm like, it could be Troy Baker.
Well, everybody's Troy Baker.
It's true, everybody's Troy Baker. There was a red
He's just trying to tell his
well.
story, okay, through NFTs.
Exactly. Do you know, it was a cracked out trailer, and I love it. I love it.
It's interesting. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised that you thought that was the biggest announcement. I thought, did it actually happen at the Game Awards? Or maybe I'm conflating stuff, but the Horizon DLC, I thought that was bigger news.
Horizon Burning Skies or something like that. It was
LA.
very, very cool. LA, there is the Hollywood sign there, and there's a machine inside it that's like comes to life and starts battling. There's like lava flowing everywhere.
Don't tell Kanye that it's set there though, right in Hollywood. Let's just don't do that.
But that was actually very good. I did like to see that. It did get leaked the day before that there was DLC coming.
That's why I thought it wasn't a Game Awards.
The old snitch himself let that out.
Honestly, I thought that was bigger news than Death Stranding 2, but that's only because I don't understand. I mean, and I appreciate no one does.
You're an Aloy simp, that's what it is.
It's
You've
true.
been a simp since the beginning.
It's true. All I've ever said is just how fantastic she is, how well written she is. I mean, she's the best, not just female protagonist, she's just the best.
Well,
the best, not even protagonist, she's just the best.
Jennifer Lawrence didn't know that there was other female protagonists before. That's a whole other thing, actually. Did you know about that? Jennifer Lawrence went to, I think it was Variety, and she was like, before my role in Hunger Games, there were no female-led movies. And I was like, hold on. You think you were the first?
It's true, because Sigourney Weaver never beat that alien.
No.
In the 80s.
There was actually
Sarah Connor didn't beat the Terminators and save all of us.
I love it, because in her mind, she's like, I'm elevating women, but really what you've done is just completely negate all the work of women before. Anyway, that's... Oh, it's just so dumb. It's celebrities, they just live in their own world.
Yeah. I will say though, that's one of the things talking about that is like those people that talk about entertainment, they take that stance, really annoy me because like, oh, people just don't like that was one of the complaints about Rings of Power.
Oh yeah.
Which the big complaint should have been it was set in Lord of the Rings universe.
The biggest. Yeah.
But like one of the complaints was that the woman, the main lady, because it's a female protagonist, is just like, they're like, oh, people don't like her because they hate women and strong female leads, right? Because no one liked Khaleesi in Game of Thrones, right? No one was a big fan. No one likes Sigourney. What is her name? Ripley from Alien, literally 40 years ago, right? No one likes that stuff. And it's because they just don't write good women.
Yeah.
It's not because people don't like women. It's like they write shit characters and they cop out and say, oh, you just don't like female leads. Yeah. Which would be true if this was Horizon, because that's my only problem with the game, is that Ayla's got a vagina.
That's the only issue.
That's my only problem with the game.
You just swapped out those genitals, then, and even though we don't see it, you just swap them out.
Yeah, just like in Cyberpunk. Just let me just whoop.
There you go. Yeah, the Horizon Forbidden West DLC coming out in
sick.
5 months.
It looks good.
So it's very, very soon here. It's like April or something like that.
Can we?
It does look fantastic.
It looks amazing, and I've always had to say this. Like, Horizon as a game, as a thing to play, very fluid, great mechanics. I enjoy the combat a lot. Gorgeous to look at, smooth, great game. Story has had its ups and downs for me. DLC though is exactly what I want from this, which is side content, so I don't have to worry about Aloy's motivations and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's perfect for me. Although Iki Island for Ghost of Tsushima really raised the bar.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny little segue.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm known for those?
Yeah, just the first of its kind. Do you think we're ever going to get Ragnarok DLC?
So this is my thing. One of my big issues is that we don't.
Shut up.
God damn it, Siri. One of my big things is that there's a lot of unanswered questions, and also the way that
there are a lot of unanswered questions.
The way that it ends for one of the characters, it's like, okay, there's something that we surely need to follow on this path. So I do think I'm gonna get DLC, but I think we might get like a standalone game, a bit like a Lost Legacy or something.
Yeah, that's the
like
first person shooter they're working on.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or was it a first person or it's a shooter? They said.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think they're just working on another game.
Yeah. Also, I have one big issue. Anybody that's finished this game will know what I mean. The fact that it just is exit stage left bugged the shit out of me.
Like, yo, what?
Although in my head, because I really did enjoy Ragnarok, I've chosen to believe it because Mimir talks to Kratos a lot about plays from his thing, and I chose to view it as like, it's just a very Greek play kind of ending where he just walks off the stage. And I'm like, okay, when I choose to view it that way, specifically remembering Mimir's conversations about plays, it's not so bad.
It's like, I'm trying to make this work for you guys.
Also, if you walk out that cave and look, there's nothing there.
So
how did he do that?
Okay.
Is he Batman?
Anyway, it's like, yeah, they do that.
Yeah, they do that.
All right, so that's the DLC that got announced there. They revealed Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I missed that. I need to watch that.
It looks really cool.
I can't wait to experience the bugs.
Yeah, hopefully they do a better job this time. But Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Cal Kestis looks a lot more manly in this one. And I was saying how in the first one, he looked like a ginger kid that I would bully. And in this one, he looks like a guy that I could probably slam. And I think he's pretty hot looking, especially with the bit of the
stubble in it.
Exactly. Yeah. He came out on stage, and this is so funny to me, because he came out on stage with a lightsaber from the game. And I was like, oh, that's so cool, that's so awesome, and I like that because I like lightsabers and stuff like that. And afterwards I saw that there was a collector's edition that they're selling with that, and that was what it was. It was advertised. I was like, oh man, you ruined it, you cheapened it a little bit. But anyway, that's happening.
I'm glad you said
that. But the game looks fantastic.
Such a simp for collector's editions, and I'm glad you're like, you cheapened. I'm not saying you won't get it, but I'm glad you feel that it's cheapened.
I almost went to buy it. It's $300.
That's a lot of dollars.
Yeah. It's only being sold in Limited Run Games, which is an American website. So then I have to pay extra for shipping. And what's extra about this is that the blade part of the lightsaber is sold separately. And I don't know how much the blade part is.
Oh, no thank you.
And I'm like, why would you sell it separately? What the nonsense is that?
We'll talk about the game.
Dumb shit.
However, one thing, I saw the sick TikTok.
Yeah.
Where this guy was like doing lightsaber combat, and I had this thought before, but I thought maybe it wouldn't work. And this guy demonstrated it, and he went to slash, the guy went to block, and he went off on and stabbed the guy. So skipped the blade, and he was like, "You telling me no one's thought of this?" And I was like, I thought of that, but I didn't know if it would work. Like maybe there's good reasons that they don't do it. And he's like, no, this totally works. You beat everybody like this.
I think it's one of those situations, like, you know, when people say, "Oh, I've got a blade."
Yeah.
So you never throw it like a throwing knife.
No.
You never throw because you're giving your weapon away.
Yeah.
And you have one shot and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those situations, like, if you turn off your thing, then you've turned off your weapon.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I don't know.
Also, and here's the reason I taught myself out of the like idea in my head without being able to visually see it, was that these guys can deflect laser bolts.
Yeah.
Right? So if they've got the reflexes to basically deflect bullets, then it doesn't really matter if the lightsaber's on or off. What matters is, instead of, if he skips your like blade, if he goes off and then back on, that effectively it's just now a thrust.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. You just changed what your attack was. And so you're sort of back to square one anyway. And that's what it was in my head. I'm like, well, if they can basically dodge bullets and reflect bullets, then it just, you know, you go from a slash to a thrust.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But I got to say, it looked really sick in this.
I bet. So
Anyway.
we got that. It's coming out in 4 months, that one. So that's no time at all in March.
Yeah.
Crazy
Good
stuff.
thing there's nothing strong coming into next year that Xbox has to compete with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I really liked about this, and I appreciate, is that we heard about Jedi Survivor a little while ago.
Yeah, we knew it was coming.
And we heard nothing else about it. And then we get the first reveal of it, and it's coming out in 4 months, guys. Fucking great, right?
That's how you do it.
Not like what we usually get, years and years of marketing and then inevitable delays at the end and pushed, and then we're just waiting forever.
One other thing I just realised why I have liked Horizon God of War so much, and why if Elden Ring was for me, I would have enjoyed it so much. The games came out freaking working. I had 2 bugs in God of War. And they weren't... Well, one was kind of game breaking. I had to uninstall. That was really worrying.
Yeah,
right at the
I remember
beginning.
you saying that.
Yeah. But other than that, it's been flawless. Pretty much 3 bugs. It's been flawless. Like, the game just works. It just works. And any updates that have happened have been like balancing issues and stuff like that. Like some thing wasn't strong enough or whatever, right? Same with Horizon. The game just worked. Same with Elden Ring. The game just worked. And like, if they bring out Jedi Survivor and it just, you know, relatively speaking, just works, like, that's how you should do this.
Are we asking for too much? In this day and age, probably yes.
Yeah, probably. Also, time will tell, but it makes me feel really good about Jedi Survivor, because them saying it's out in 4 months is like this huge sign of the game's basically ready. We're just putting the bows on top, right? As opposed to being like, hey, Jedi like Survivor, it's coming out, and like, oh, 2 months later, don't forget about our game. And it's like, that's been the previous life cycle for every game that got delayed. Whereas with this, they're like, oh no, it's basically ready. We're bringing it to market soon. You'll have it Q1 next year.
It.
And it's like, that's the way to do it. Now, if it gets delayed, I feel stupid. But I mean, I've been there before.
No, come on.
This is a well-trodden ground.
You've never said anything stupid before.
Never once.
I'm excited for Jedi Survivor. It looked very cool.
Space Wizards and laser swords, man. As long as Cal Kestis can remember how to freaking jump.
He's going to forget it all again. It's like, Master, I forgot my training. I must remember it all again. But there was a cool thing. There was a cool tease of a person in a Bacta tank. And I knew it was Star Wars when I first saw the Bacta tank. But I was like, hold on. But like, the only person we ever see in a Bacta tank is Anakin, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, but he has an arm.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Wait
Hold
minute.
on a second.
Hold
and
on.
I think he had legs as well. And I was like, this doesn't really doesn't
There
compute.
are 3 too many limbs here.
Okay, all right, whatever.
This is an entire human being.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is... But anyway, they showed it was someone else. They gave a little bit close-ups. And that answered that question. But I'm excited for Jedi Survivor. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. 4
Yeah,
months.
and Respawn did a very good... Jedi Fallen Order was very true to Star Wars. The only real problems with it were we didn't spend enough time with side characters that mattered. We spent a lot of time with side characters that didn't matter.
Yeah.
And as far as I could tell, there was no story.
It was a fairly simple story.
There's not much, and we had an amazing cameo at the end.
Yes,
and like, it was amazing. But like the in between, the getting between bits was perfect, right? It was running around, double jumping, laser swording stuff. It's exactly what I want. That's what I want from Star Wars. All I'm asking for. So more of that.
More of that.
And also now I don't look like a beaten ginger stepchild. I look like a
man.
A man. I look like a young muscly Thor.
Yes.
Who's a space wizard. Perfect.
Another cool announcement I found was Idris Elba is now going to be in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
He's part of the Phantom Liberty.
He's coming for the DLC.
As like a detective in that, and I was like, that's a really cool character for him to play.
They should call him Luther.
Aha! There's a movie coming out for Luther, isn't
there? There is.
I really like Idris Elba, so that was a cool thing for me.
I'd simp.
It would get me to play the Phantom Liberty, even if I was already going to play the Phantom Liberty anyway. But
I'm so torn about the DLC. What's weird? How weird is this? I'm not excited for the Cyberpunk DLC, which 2 years ago you'd think, how could you not be excited for Cyberpunk? And I am excited for the Horizon DLC. How weird is that for once?
The world has just been flipped upside down.
I'm so confused.
So that was cool. Not much more information, but they gave another little trailer.
Yeah.
Usual Cyberpunk trailers are fantastic.
It's such a good looking aesthetic.
They also showed a trailer for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
A little bit more awesomeness, more of what we know. They showed the Flash being beaten the hell out of, almost dead. Usual jokes between the Boomerang and Captain Boomerang and stuff like that. But the big thing that they dropped on us, they showed Batman as well being under the influence of Brainiac, and they revealed his voice.
Yes.
And Batman will be voiced by the late Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
This was his last project that he did before he died. And my God, that was emotional.
Yeah.
Knowing that we lost this legend.
Yeah. And then we still have one more.
And then we still have one more coming back. It's like, you know, when you don't know, but if you was to like lose a parent.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that they left a video just praising you for everything that you've done and saying how proud they are of you at that moment. Oh, one more moment with my daddy.
Like you go into like the New Year's party videos or something from 2 months before, and there's like some candid video where it's like someone just held the camera at their side and they're talking to your like dad, and he was like, yeah, I'm so proud of XYZ. Yeah, it's like that.
Oh, it was such an emotional moment.
That's
crazy.
Where before I wanted Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League to be good, now I kind of need it to be. I need the Batman stuff to be good because I just cannot have Kevin Conroy, who is like, I mean, he's the voice of Batman, isn't he? He's Batman. I can't have that. At least the Batman stuff has to matter. Everything else can suck, right? Like, as much, and I genuinely do hate to say this, like, no one cares about the Flash. No one gives a shit. Green Lantern has been done so dirty anyway that the only possible saving grace is Idris Elba, or who's the guy?
Nathan Fillion.
Oh, that would be a good one. Who's the one from Justice League that got cut? The Snyder cut.
Wayne T. Carr.
Yes. So you got 3 potential options for saviors, and that's it. In the world, there's 3 potential wins, potentially, and it's still got to be a good movie, got to make sense. So no one cares about the Green Lantern.
I said Nathan Fillion, but in this one, it's in Suicide Squad Justice League, it's already been confirmed. It's
I'm thinking if we were going to do a standalone movie, I think Nathan Fillion would be a good. He'd get the Hal Jordan, and I think Ryan Reynolds was a potential good shout. If only Ryan Reynolds would do a Green Lantern movie, that would be cool.
Yeah, if only he would. Yeah. If only.
So like, there's very few ways to make, the little saving grace for Green Lantern. So if that sucks, doesn't matter. Superman, as we know in video games, tough, but would be a great sort of villain. But like, there's so much good Superman stuff out there. The only one that really matters in the sense of like legacy is Kevin Conroy. Everything else can suck. Like, okay, we had a shit Superman villain, like doesn't matter. And plus, we don't like him as a villain, right? It's a cool like episodic thing, but we don't like Superman as a villain. We like him as Superman.
There's way more stakes now on Batman. Like the other ones are they're just characters. Yeah. Hopefully they do good, but they've been done bad in the past. We'll get past it. We'll do okay. But desecrating the name of Kevin Conroy on his last game will be terrible.
I really
it doesn't
hope
happen.
that they did it. So I think it would have been ironic anyway if in the game the hardest fight was Batman, and not from a Batman standpoint of view, but from a imagine you're the Justice League, you beat Magic Green Laser guy, you beat Super Fast guy, you beat God.
Yeah.
Right? And here is some freaking rich kid with no parents and he fucks you up. Right? Like, and that's the real fight, like the real boss fight somehow is Batman. From like a storytelling perspective, I thought that would have been a good way to do it anyway, right? Like you're like, look, we beat Superman, we beat Green Lantern, we beat the Flash. It's just a dude in a suit.
I wanted
and then
to...
someone comes in and it's like, no, that's the Gotham Bat. That's the Bat. Like, we're not done yet. Like we need to be really careful. And then like he wrecks your shit. So I'm hoping they chose that as like a story beat anyway, so that he can be like the big villain, if you will.
I hope they do an emotional moment with Superman and Batman. Like maybe Superman comes back first, or Batman comes.
Yeah.
It would be nice if Batman was the last one, and Superman has to try and bring him round or
Yeah.
something like that, break the hold that Brainiac's got him. I was gonna make 2 jokes during the Game Awards,
Yeah.
but it kind of got overshadowed by the Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. What were the
reveal
jokes? What were the jokes?
One of them is that Batman isn't so smart. He got taken out by Brainiac.
If you were so smart,
the smartest man in the world. Fucking dickhead, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a moment where, because he's been hold of, he's been taken over by Brainiac.
Yeah.
He's not really Batman anymore. He's
Right.
just a shell, really.
At that point, he's just a guy.
Yeah, he's just a dude, right?
Yeah.
He's just being controlled. Harley Quinn says, it's like, don't worry, it's Batman. He never kills anyone. Then he just drops a guard that's like dead mangled on the ground. And it's like, oh, you mean like he's done forever? All right, guys, this is just normal Batman, everyone.
Right.
Everyone's just...
You mean dropping gangsters off of roofs and stuff?
He's done that plenty of times.
Yeah. Do you not remember that warehouse? He throws a grenade at a guy.
So how many times he dropped someone off of a building in The Dark Knight?
In fairness, in Batman vs Superman, he doesn't shoot the guy with the gas tank. He just commands his aircraft to shoot the guy with the gas tank. So,
Loophole.
and he saves Martha. So, like,
Hero.
net. Like, net. It's fine.
Anyway, that was fucking cool. It was very, very great to see that. I can't wait to play it. They didn't give a date on that one, but I'm guessing it's still coming out 2023.
2023, maybe early 24, something like that.
Yeah. I'm just looking through some of the stuff that I was tweeting out about it. Oh, interesting thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how big Diablo was or how much money they're making, because they fucking got Halsey, the fucking singer, to come out to introduce it. And I only know Halsey because my girlfriend's big into Halsey, and I know she's a fucking big deal. She made an IMAX movie just for her own music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, you made a movie? It wasn't like you were like in partnership with someone.
No,
you just went out and made a movie.
Yeah, the excuse is I'm Halsey. I do what I like.
And it was like in the woods, sort of like Game of Thrones-esque, sort of like... I'm like, this is expensive shit.
Yeah. It's not cheap.
And I was like...
It's high quality. It's on location. Even in the woods, it's like... Yeah.
I'm just like, how much money is Diablo bringing in that they fucking get to...
As it turns out, everyone does have a phone.
Do you guys have phones? I mean,
did
yes,
see-
we do. It turns out.
Somebody tweeted you saying their husband got into the beta and it's actually incredibly good.
Yes,
Which is interesting.
What's her name? Farah. She's a God of War simp like myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to try. Diablo now.
Yeah.
Strange.
I mean, like...
I'll tell you what I do want to try, and this came up in the Game Awards as well. It was Warhammer 40k.
Vermintide, not Vermintide. That one.
It wasn't Darktide. Darktide's coming up, but there was like Space Time or Space Marine or something like that. It was like another side game, because like 4,000 of them it seems like. But whichever one, I was
Are you
like,
sure it's not Darktide? Darktide's already out.
I know Darktide's like
And it
the
looks
one that
fantastic,
came out recently
by the way.
or something.
Yeah, that's
like that, right?
40k. That's my preferred Warhammer, by the way.
40k.
Which that's what I thought Alpha's name was originally. Alpha Aquila.
Space Marine. That's what it was called. That's what was announced. Oh wait, hold on. That's an old game.
The thing is, there are a bunch of Warhammer's been making games, some very, very bad,
Yeah.
for a long, long time. So, and they're all called things like Space Marine 2, Terminator.
Right.
Like they all.
It is Space Marine 2. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. Anyway, that was shown there, and I was like, I have never played a Warhammer game, and you've told me about how crazy
The universe is sick. The universe is amazing.
And I've listened to a couple of podcasts. There's Kyle from PK who's really into it, and I've heard the stuff they say, and it sounds amazing.
The universe is incredible.
And I was sitting there on the live stream, just talking to everyone. I was like, I kind of want to try to see if I can get into it, because Henry Cavill's a big fan of Warhammer. Yeah. So and they started calling me simps because of everything.
I mean, if Henry Cavill gets you into 40k, what's really funny, there's this meme, right? And it's like fans, like, and the question is, would you wish to get like transported into your universe? Like Harry Potter fans, yes, I want to go to Hogwarts. Star Wars fans, yes, I want a lightsaber. Warhammer fans, no, I choose life. No.
Stay back. From what I've heard, I can believe that.
It's the universe is really, really rough. And by the way, the good guys, you play as the good guy. You're a space Nazi. If Hitler had dreams about being a space Nazi, like you're a space Nazi. There's no questions about it. And that's if you're a regular, normal kind of guy. If you're like a space marine, like you're like. Whatever a space Nazi would be to you, you're that to a space Nazi. That's what a space marine is. Like I love this universe so much.
I can see why you would.
Yeah. I mean, look, all I'm saying is that one guy from Germany had some good... Motorways are a fantastic idea.
Fantastic idea, yeah. And he invented the microphone as well.
You know, I've been making this joke for ages, right? There's somebody... I saw this on Twitter. Somebody... which one? What are you thinking about?
No, well, I was thinking that we've been making jokes, literal jokes, about everything that he's been saying. But as a joke, for ages now... Yeah. We were just ahead of the curve.
We're just ahead of the curve. But what's so funny to me is, we talked about like Madame Tussauds removed Kanye's statue because he was like anti-Semitic, but they kept Hitler.
Makes sense.
People are like getting rid of their Teslas because whatever. I haven't seen Elon do anything particularly bad.
I need to talk about that on the Conbros podcast because that's I actually wanted to go on Reddit to be like, can someone explain to me what it is that... Because I'm not in the know of everything, so I don't know.
As far as I know, he hasn't done anything particularly
I'm like,
egregious.
The guy makes SpaceX and those things are really cool the way they land.
Yeah, and he makes some spicy memes and stuff. He makes some silly tweets.
And then there's some cars, and I'm like, so what's he done? I don't know.
So I saw people saying, like, I'm giving up my Tesla because Elon's like a Nazi or something, right? And what do they get instead?
Volkswagen!
A VW, like, literally made by the guy!
Who was that? It was... Christina Ricci or something like that?
Something like that.
She comes along and she's like, I've given up my Tesla, I got a VW. And I was like, that was literally made by a Nazi. Literally made by Hitler.
By the guy. Like, you picked the guy.
That was such a poorly timed. And this is, anyway, that's
so I just think it's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, Warhammer 40k, the universe is incredible.
Yeah.
And the best thing about this universe is, do you remember when we first played The Witcher 3?
Yes.
And we hadn't played any Witcher games before. It was probably a solid 10 or 15 hours into the game before I really knew like who Nilfgaard was and like Redania and stuff like that. And now I've played the game like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I know who everybody is. But at the time I felt lost. Warhammer, very, very, very easy to get into. Very easy to get into. Like I could summarize the whole thing in 2 minutes right now.
Yeah.
If you want to go deep, there's literally thousands of books.
Yeah, I've heard apparently there's some like YouTube channels as well that try to do condensed versions of some of the books, and they're like hours long.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, what? That's the condensed version.
There are guys who are like, who are these people? How did this happen? Like there are channels of 1 million+ subs just explaining just the Space Marines, which is like the human super soldiers. Like, but it takes you 2 minutes. Here's the whole world. There are chaos gods, i.e. like demons, right? 4-1, so like sort of like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You got like war, disease, shit like that.
Yeah.
We also have one, basically, God, the God Emperor of mankind. He's out of commission for some reason. It doesn't really matter. He's stuck on this iron throne in stasis.
But people still bring sacrifices to empower him because apparently he's holding back the evilness.
Have I talked to you about this?
No, I heard it on this other podcast.
Cool.
So I was like, I know this guy.
Yeah. So he feeds on. So we're 40,000 years in the future. There are human psychics. His soul basically feeds on psychics. Yeah. So they're bringing him psychics,
rounding up people from in the universe,
just to funnel into this thing to keep him.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Because we need to, otherwise all the evil will come through.
Right. And then he made these super soldiers called Space Marines. They're like 7 foot tall in this huge hulking. They look like that.
Yeah.
They're freaking badass, right? And then below that you got like regular human beings, right? The guard, the Imperial Guard, and there are aliens. That's the world. That's the universe. By the way, we're not friends with any of them. We're super racist.
Super racist.
You know, except we did it smart. Like obviously humans are okay.
Obviously,
no one cares about what kind of human you are.
Yeah,
it's if you're not human.
That's everything.
They're all Xeno scum.
We elevated from racism to just speciesism, wasn't it?
Right. And that's the basic world. You see an alien, Xeno scum. Only thing potentially worse than alien, chaos. You know, so like anybody that worships chaos, they get all mutated and shit, right? Yeah. Demony. That's the world. Now, there is books going from like 30k, so 10,000 years ago, when everything, like humanity went sort of out into the stars and how it all fell apart.
Yeah.
Hundreds of books about that. Hundreds of books now that it's 40k and the emperor's like not, you know, he's trying to hold everything back and he's functionally dead and keeping himself alive. He's in stasis but still working.
Right. Yeah.
So his body won't die. So his mind's doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome. There's so many books about it. And there's books about all the different races. There's like 15, 20 different races.
But I'm racist. I only care about the humans. So
well, we got to know your enemy.
Well, that's a good point. You
know?
Right. Always know your enemy.
So you got like the Eldar, which are like space elves, the Dark elves in space. Right. You got orcs. The orcs are incredible, by the way. We'll get back to gaming, I swear. The orcs are amazing. This is true. This is like canon. Their whole thing is based on what they believe.
Yeah.
Stuff works. So this is a real, like imagine the world is real. There is a real battle where the humans ran out of ammo and then just started going bang, 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 and yelling bang.
Fingers.
And killed the orcs because they believed they were shooting at them.
Oh, okay.
And the orcs, because people are like, how does orc technology work? Because they're orcs, right? They're orcs from like Lord of the Rings, but they're now in space. Orcs have been seen driving like, you know, hovering, you know, space hover shit,
right,
where the controls are painted on. But because they believe it works, it moves the shit because there's an orc god.
Okay.
Yeah, the orc gods, Mork and Gork, I think
That's how that works.
Who are just giving them basically magic is kind of a thing, like extra dimensional power, basically. And look, if enough of you believe it works, it works. But that's just how it works.
To use that power for anything bigger than just like, I just believe this thing is happening.
Yeah.
Because if that was the power, I believe every one of you fuckers are dead.
Yeah, well, if
they're too dumb to think that, though.
If they all agreed, they would die. They'd drop dead. That's how the orcs work. It's amazing. It's so cool.
That seems pretty cool.
It's hilarious. Yeah. It's hilarious.
Anyway, I'm getting closer and closer to the... As if I don't have enough on my plate.
Of course, yeah. Anyway, Space Marine 2, I mean, I was already sold. And apparently Dark Tide, is it?
Yeah.
Is fantastic.
Apparently it is, yeah. All right, that was all the announcements at the Game Awards. I felt like it was a pretty good show. It wasn't anything that, other than I felt like Death Stranding for me personally, which I thought was amazing. There wasn't anything like for example, there wasn't like a Spider-Man 2, there wasn't like a Wolverine, cool. There wasn't anything big like Wolverine, that, or like some brand new acquisition or some brand new IP that we're like super into and whatnot. We did see Final Fantasy 16, which oddly I'm interested in, even though I'm not interested in any Final Fantasy. I don't know. Do you know what it was? I saw the Titans in this one and then battling in the last trailer, and the music was fantastic and I was just into it. It's really funny because James has started to play Bloodborne. Yeah. And he's like, I can't believe I'm enjoying it. And I was like, you see, if you weren't wasting your time with stupid Final Fantasy games this whole time that Jas was forcing you into, then you could have been playing this. And then Jas, and I tagged him in it, and he's like, and he started getting really angry. But then when he saw me saying that I was excited for Final Fantasy 16, he was like, I never want to see a tweet like this ever again, okay?
I just remembered I'm so sorry.
Go on.
I just remembered a project that this is totally 100% fan made. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh God!
It's called Astartes on YouTube, and there are a bunch of parts. This is one guy who's like an editor. Now Games Workshop actually hired him to work on their games. There's almost no words in it. Space Marines are famously quite silent, at least in their armor, or unless you're reading books from their perspective. Right. I'm going to send you the thing. It's like 10 minutes long. Basically, the Space Marines turn up and fight evil psychic guys. That's the basic gist. And I think there's something like haunted or demony possessed, something there. I'm just going to send it to you so you can see how badass these freaking guys are. It's called Astartes. It was made by this one guy. I think it's Project Astartes. But there were 5 parts and they got condensed. It's so good. So cool. Just so you can see the aesthetic in it.
All right.
And now we can go back to what we were talking about. I'm so sorry. I knew there was something bugging me that I wanted to send you. Sorry. Now we can...
What was I saying?
You were talking about Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, so
and
for some reason
James.
Final Fantasy 16 is getting me, and I'm not exactly sure why. It's tough to say whether or not I'll actually play it because there's so much to play nowadays. Even in the next 5 months, there's so much games to play and so much I want to play. The Witcher 3 next gen update is coming out in 4 days from today, from the day that we're recording this.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, do you know what? I was skeptical as well, and I've been talking about it with Zacchino and like DMs and stuff like that. I've lost a lot of confidence in CDPR, and I didn't know what they were gonna do, and they weren't showing a lot. So I was like, "Are you guys just gonna give us like the PC mods that people have had already?" And and the PC mods, while they look great, they're not breaking the world. They're not like changing it. Is it gonna just be that, and then that's it?
Yeah, like a mid-tier graphical upgrade.
Should we be excited for this? They've done a lot of like quality of life stuff, and they've changed a few outfits, things that maybe you didn't like. They brought the ballsack armor from Netflix,
Perfect.
where everyone was asking
That's
for.
what we want.
And they have made it look a lot better. It's a free update, so how much can you really complain?
Yeah.
So, but also, I had been looking for an excuse to get to play Witcher 3 again from the beginning, because I did play the DLC that after you guys told me I really had to, and I did, and I enjoyed it. And I haven't played the actual...
so good.
I haven't played the main game in a long time, so maybe it's cool. I'll get back into that.
Annoyingly, isn't it just the main game that's got the update? They're not updating the DLC.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Which is, that's fine. The main game is fantastic. You always need to make sure. I think it's...
Actually, wait a minute. Is it the whole thing? I don't know.
I think it's just the main game.
I don't know.
But, I mean, either way, that game in and of itself is fantastic. It's incredible in every way. I can't think of very many flaws that it has.
Yeah.
It is a great example. If someone was like, we're going to show aliens video games as like an entertainment form, we're going to send them The Witcher, they'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Make sure you send them the DLC. Keep Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine as well. But yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I'd be cool with that, you know? So I really want the DLC to get the extra treatment as well. Put it this way. Same with Ragnarok. All I'd said was, as long as it doesn't ruin 2018, I'll be happy. Same with this. As long as it doesn't mess anything up, I'll be happy. If it's even better, well then, great. You know, I'm not going to complain, am I? But my bar is just don't ruin the original game.
Yeah.
Somehow, don't mess with anything.
Yeah.
As long as they do that, we're good, right?
And that was everything that they announced. As I said, a fairly decent show, I felt like. And I don't know if it was worth me staying up from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m.
I got to say, I don't think it was.
Yeah. Like, I understand America like to do... it's an American show. So in the evening is good for an award show because you get dressed up in, like, fancy attire and stuff like that. However, gaming is a global thing.
Yeah, Mario said something.
It's not a thing, yeah.
Mario tweeted Jeff.
Yeah.
And was like, look, it was a great show, but either do this earlier or do it on a Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, Mario? That's a great freaking point. Why was this on a Wednesday or whatever it was? Thursday, yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Dumb. Really dumb.
Stupid.
Anyway, that was the award ceremony. I think it was very good. I'm just going to quickly peruse through the Discord comments, see if there's anyone have any any thoughts on what happened in there. The only two parts that really count.
Talk amongst yourselves, boys.
BS Bro 2, our boy Tier, the traitor himself. stuff. Excited to see Death Stranding 2 and Jedi Survivor. Both looked cool, even if we had no idea what the fuck I saw in Death Stranding 2 reveal. It seemed like Elle Fanning is in Death Stranding 2. My thought was that she would play a grown-up Louise, but it seems like she's still a toddler. I wonder what the title will be, since DS2 is apparently the working title. It would be funny if they just named it Walking Simulator as a joke.
Yeah. On like April 1st, they bring out the name in it. We've announced Walking Simulator.
Oh, go wild. Higgs seemed to be obsessed with Amelie wearing her necklace and a mask that looks like her face. This armor is red and similar hairstyle. Wonder what that's about. Seems that the connect and disconnect. So they brought a new logo out.
Yeah.
Where before it was bridges, where it was like a bridge to connect people. That was the whole theme of the game. Now they've got drawbridge, which can disconnect and connect. So
sick.
And then they also asked the question and thing like, was connecting really a good idea? And I was like, oh my god. So now we're going to be disconnecting America.
Can I like people's ladders in the middle of nowhere, though?
You can, don't worry.
That's
coming back.
What was the deal with that?
No idea.
Cool.
No idea.
Cool.
And I don't think Kojima knows. I think maybe he knew at one point when he was really high.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
That was a great idea. What was it again? I don't know.
Just write it down.
I'll work backwards.
He looks in his notebook and he's like, what the fuck did I mean? I don't know. It must have been a good idea, though.
Why is this whole page just me drawing hands? What does it mean? What does it mean?
He continues to go on. He says, Kevin Conroy as Batman one last time is amazing, but I still don't care about the Suicide Squad game. That's unfortunate, man. I was more excited about that than I was Gotham Knights, and it turned out Gotham Knights was terrible anyway, so I turned out my thoughts were good.
Gotham Knights came out and was predictably predictable. I'm curious to know what Alpha thought of it.
Yeah.
Now that he's probably had a chance to really put some time on it.
We'll need to get your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I want to hear that. But like, we kind of knew that was going to suck. Let me rephrase that. We suspected very heavily that it was going to suck, and I feel like we saw more of it than we saw of Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're willing to give stuff a fair shake. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, we thought it was going to be shit. We got it anyway, just to be in the discussion. Yeah. And like very soon, I think probably 2 days before we got it, we'd heard people saying how good it actually was. And despite many game making bugs, it was very good. So like we're willing to give it a shot, but it seems like this one really did suck.
Yeah.
I'm with you though. I'm actually excited for the game.
Yeah.
I was keen on it. I know it's a break from character, but we're breaking some of the movie magic here now that we're going to slightly less number of episodes. Seeing Superman in a video game is about time, even if he's on the wrong side of the equation, And like you said, I don't see us actually killing Superman. Like, what?
I'm interested in the redemption of it, like what's going to happen, because that's clearly what's going to happen. They're going to be, because these are good guys at the end of the day, they're going to try to bring them back somehow, and I'm interested to see how that happens. That's a compelling story to me, a bit like I was in Batman vs Superman, them doing bad shit and then compelling, bringing them back into the light. That's the cool part. Not them just being one-dimensional, just that's it all the time.
Exactly.
Anyway, it continues going as nothing else really excited me other than the Hellboy game. Don't have too much to say other than the art style looked the coolest thing ever. And with Horizon DLC releasing, I can finally get a game with the DLC like I did with the last game when the price drops. Also, Elden Ring didn't deserve that win after the shit bosses at the end. Exactly. It's what we've been saying the whole time.
Innit? We played the whole game. I must have put, 2 or 3 playthroughs on it. I had easily 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Tailgate said, didn't watch the show, but my favorite showings were Final Fantasy 16, Jedi Survivor, even though I wanted to see more than that 2-minute trailer. Transformers Reactivate. That was an interesting one right there. I'm a big Transformers fan, and it's been far too long since we had the last big Transformer game come out on consoles, since Hasbro has mostly been pumping cheap, low-effort mobile games and low-budget TV show tie-ins games. It's nice to see something big for once. And that's all for this topic at the moment. BS Bro 1. Only thing that really grabbed me was the Suicide Squad for obvious reasons. Nice to see the release date for that. Was there a release date for that?
I didn't see a release date for it.
I didn't see a release date for that. Could you Google a release date for
will do
Suicide
that
Squad
right
movie? Maybe Transformers could be interesting. Oh right, Mario was there, and I was looking forward to that. Yeah, there was a Mario trailer as well.
That's that project I just sent you, by the way. So let me look for...
I get the feeling that I enjoyed seeing the games from TGA 2021 more, but this event flowed nicely.
It just says 23 here.
Yeah?
2023.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah. That's what... I wouldn't consider that a release date.
Yeah, also that was told before. Like,
yeah, we already
delayed to this year.
Yeah.
Maybe we've missed something, I don't know. I went back and watched the pre-show, and they showed off more events like the...
No. The game is set to be released on May 26th, 2023.
Hey, Jesus,
Hey!
that's 6 months.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's
Cool.
great. That's great stuff.
Sick.
All right. Tailgate says one last thing. Okay, so we can answer this here since at this point. One last thing. What are your thoughts on the whole thing around PlayStation being scared of giving Xbox PR ammo of their case for making the acquisition, making them hold back PlayStation Showcase like the one that we got last September? I mean, it's all pretty... Do you know what? Okay, look. I really don't like talking about this acquisition because there's a lot of stupidity involved in it. And a lot of dishonesty and a lot of hypocrisy. And I really hate hypocrisy. I've said it many times.
It's our big thing, isn't it? It is our big thing.
So much. So I've really tried to stay away from it. However, even though I've blocked a bunch of people, even though I've muted a bunch of people, I still get this shit coming through on my timeline. I'll say this one time here for you. Both of them holding back is stupid. It's not like these guys don't know that you're going to be making games. That's right. Completely fine. And the argument that is being made anyway, the FTC said that they're suing Activision and Microsoft to block this merger. And their primary argument is that they're worried that they're going to take the games that they have purchased and make them all exclusive, which was everyone's worry in the beginning. Now, Microsoft coming out going, oh, we'll make a 10-year deal with PlayStation doesn't mean anything because then, A, they can find any loophole they want because they're a company and this is what they do, so they can exploit any loophole. And then also, what's to say after the 10 years, then they're just going to go, all right, see you later, guys.
Right.
That's what and there's no amount of promising from a company that will ever convince anybody that that's what they're going to do. Now,
well, I mean, no company would ever have turnover in, I don't know, the space of a decade and have decision makers change their mind.
And also 10 years isn't that long.
No.
10 years isn't that long. Now, the FTC cite one thing in there. It's their second paragraph in their entire thing that they put out. It's a big long thing, but in their second paragraph, meaning that this is one of their primary concerns. They go that they spoke to the European antitrust and they made it seem to them that they weren't going to make... They said they had no incentive to make games exclusive and not make them available on other platforms.
Yeah.
That's what they said to them. Now, they didn't promise anything. They didn't say, we're not going to do that. We promise we won't take these games away from PlayStation, etc. But after the deal closed, then they made a bunch of games exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah.
And now the FTC are worried that they're going to do the exact same thing. Warranted fear right there.
Yeah, well, you mean after they say, we're not going to do the thing, and then immediately do the thing?
Well, that's the thing. They're like, we have no incentive to make them exclusive. Why would we do that? Oh, well, we did it. That's what they're worried about. So all these other people that are pretending or making up other excuses like, oh, I've seen this dumb thing where people are like, oh, so PlayStation can only have exclusives. That's not the argument. That's not the argument. You're making up a thing over here and then arguing that point. That's nothing to do with it.
Those are totally different things.
No one said...
they're not taking anything away. They didn't originally make something for everyone and then go, well, now that we've acquired all the ingredients we need for this food, only our people can have it. They were like originally making a thing just for their guys.
Exactly. And it's
also, Xbox used to be here. It used to be Xbox that really had the stuff that you could only play on Xbox. Exactly. Halo, Gears, Forza, those are big. Those used to be Forza. Those used to be big names and big draws. And since that they have let the ball slip, is that the word?
Drop the ball.
Drop the ball, that's the one. Since they've dropped the ball on that, now they're trying to change the argument. This is the one thing that Xbox really does well, is they change the freaking argument and they lead PlayStation around by the nose. Like,
what's really good here is that it shows that, and I was really worried. I was like, this is a sure thing going to go through because the lawmakers don't know anything. They just don't know anything. And it turns out that they're not easily fooled. They're not easily had the wool pulled over their eyes, and they're giving them some resistance. Now, this thing might still go through.
Yeah.
I don't care either way, to be honest. I'm sick and tired. I just want it all to be over. But it just shows that Microsoft can't just go around lying and saying whatever they feel like and then doing something completely different, because there are people that are listening, and that's what's going on.
and it's not just us that... Here's the thing. One, I gotta be honest, a little bit of a pat on our backs.
Yeah.
Without any of the actual data and just filling in the blanks from like common sense, having a feel for the marketplace, because we, spend so much time talking about it and understanding what's going on, we basically called what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the SEC comes in, gets a look at all of everyone's books and goes, for all intents and purposes, yo, Conbrosations, you were totally right. You hit the nail on the head. We just didn't have numbers, right? And with it's totally true. And the big thing, again, as consumers, because we care more about you than we care about the companies, PlayStation will fuck us over the second it makes financial sense, right? We've always said that. And the second they mess up, we rip into them. How much did we rip into them about all the PS Plus and...
Yeah, like just the stupid levels and how remakes are somehow regarded as classic games. And it's like,
stupid,
no,
you're an idiot.
No,
you're dumb. You're dumb. So, the big takeaway is that Xbox would rather spend $60 billion and get into lawsuits with the SEC than just make some good games for you.
This is my core point right here. Imagine, instead of spending the $69 billion to take away games from other people, instead of spending that money on that, what if they spent it to create 5 or 6 industry-leading studios that pay way above for creatives and whatnot, and then attracted all of this huge talent, and then went to put a thing out there, were like, we want pitches for amazing stories for our games. We're going to make a game in the next 5 or 6 years, and we're looking for a great story right now. We're going to pay you above board if you can bring us something that we genuinely like. Yeah. You'll attract the best of the best because they'll be paid the best of the best. And then in the future, you have all of these 100% homegrown exclusives for your platform, and you've propped up the industry. You've added to the whole system rather than taken away from other people. PlayStation get amazing exclusive, you get amazing exclusive, and then I really can't choose whether or not to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox. I'll have to buy both.
And they could do those 6 games for... Let's be ridiculous. $2 billion.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's insane.
Stupid money.
You could do those. You could do everything we just said for $500 million. But let's say $2 billion. And they have PlayStation's homework to copy.
Exactly.
They've done the reports. We've seen the reports. They know what makes The Last of Us such a good game. They know what makes God of War such a good game. All they have to do is make some good decisions, pay people appropriately, and here's why I chucked out $2 billion. In the meantime, because realistically, those are 5-year projects, 5 or 6 years. Okay, we understand that. That makes sense to me. They already own, let's say, Rare. It's not going to be that much effort to make a Banjo-Kazooie game. Just remake the game.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year project. Okay, you have to make all the assets stuff, blah, blah, blah. Fine. But we're paying above and beyond for the quality. So we have some titles over the next few years. Whatever else is in the loop. And then, like you said, 5 or 6 just absolute bangers. But no, they'd rather do this. And that's the takeaway. That's why we say to go to PlayStation. Not because we give a shit about Japanese suits, Yeah. Because that's really what Sony is, believe me. But it's because they've realised the best business model is just to make some absolute bangers. And then what do? They make you absolute bangers. Not because they care. But because that's the way to get all your money.
That's the way they get your money. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
anyway, that's the end all and be all of it.
Yeah.
And all this other arguments that I see online about other things that don't pertain to the actual core thing just piss me off to no end, to the point that I even told Zach Chiu came up to me one time. He was like, "Oh, have you seen this new development, this thing?" And I told him, "Bro, I love you and I really respect this whole you're in this thing scene like we are, but please don't send me anymore because I can't take the stupidity about everything else people are talking about when that's not the argument anymore. I can't."
And that's the thing.
I can't take it.
Like it's nothing to do with Zach sending us stuff.
Yeah.
It's that the discussion is the wrong discussion.
It's devolved into stupidity.
Yeah. It's
Devolved
like
into stupidity.
people are fighting about like these minor things when when what they should be realizing is we shouldn't even be having this discussion.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be at play. What should be happening is Microsoft should be spending some money, and in comparison to what they're willing to spend, it's pennies.
Yeah.
Bringing out some absolute bangers.
Do you know? I don't know who would say this. It would be really nice to make a statement in this situation. Like, it would be. What would my ideal scenario be? Is that this Activision deal falls through. It doesn't go through, they're blocked or whatever. And someone says, I don't know who it would be to make enough of a statement that they would listen. But like, instead of using this money for this, build a couple of really amazing studios from the ground up. Put an amazing like ad out there to say we want creatives to come to us with great ideas and we're going to use the money that we were going to use on this, a small fortune of fucking countries.
A small fortune. That's
a huge fortune.
I'm just going to Google what the 10 lowest GDP countries are.
Let me finish this, then while you do that. This massive amount of money, we're going to use that to make some great stories. Please come to us. That's what we want to do. You guys should do that, Microsoft. And I wish that would be the next thing. I fear, though, if it doesn't go through, instead they're just going to become spiteful and use the massive amount of wealth to buy third-party exclusive games, third-party games, and make them exclusive, which is just going to be another form of stupidity. And PlayStation have been doing that, which again is taking away from other people, but at least they have a huge market share, so a lot more people are playing that game. But even that's dumb. I just wish someone would say that so they could just go, do you know what? Maybe we will add to the gaming industry instead of taking it away.
So to be clear, the lowest GDP country is Burundi.
What the fuck is that?
At $272 billion.
Okay.
I believe. I think this is in billions. It just says US dollars, so I'm presuming billions, right?
Okay.
So a quarter.
Yeah. More than a quarter.
Yeah,
So
about
270, did you say?
270.
Okay,
so
it's
about a
quarter,
quarter. Yeah, let's say a quarter. A quarter of a country's GDP.
Just being given away to buy a company.
And realistically, for our pet project, give us $2 billion. We'll get you 5 studios that can make absolute bangers. Yeah. And in between that, you've already got IPs. I'm telling you right now, Banjo-Kazooie would absolutely slap.
Yeah.
You know, get some other games out there where there is a reason to be on Xbox, of stuff you already own, and the focus should not be making money. The focus should be making the best game you possibly can, and that's how you make the best money.
Yes. It's the most ethical way to make it anyway.
Yeah, like, look, can you really put the screws to people and rinse people for all they're worth? Well, if you're Xbox, no, you can't, because Halo Infinite proves it. So
also,
don't even try.
You don't have the brand power to do that.
Yeah. And this is the thing as well. It's like these bad decisions and trying to find ways to make more money have resulted in Halo being what it is now, which is basically a joke. And Halo used to be like, oh, first-person shooters, yeah. You got Halo, you got Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex and stuff like that. But like, that's what it would have been. And now Halo's a joke.
It's a joke now.
And it used to be so good. Halos 1, 2, 3 are so incredibly good. And I'm not saying that they should stick to Halo. In fact, I think they should just put that to bed. What they should do is come up with some freaking titles. Look, I'm open to it. Do some World War II shooter or whatever, right? I'm not saying you're trying to go up against Call of Duty. I'm saying find another game, just slap a story in there. And what they should be doing is not trying to buy games or buy like dev companies. They should be buying up rights to IP. Like they said no to Star Wars. Who says no to... Well, I mean, it makes sense actually because they can't deliver on the game right now. But it's not like they don't have... Like, there are some incredibly talented people at Microsoft already. There are some incredibly talented people within those organizations. The issue is all the decision making.
Yeah.
Right?
Management's a problem. They're too relaxed on everything.
The Witch is a perfect example. The Witcher TV show.
You have to talk about on Conbrosations.
Yeah. Like, you have the best talent.
Yeah.
Right? You got some of the best writers or access to them. You got the best crews. You got Henry Cavill himself, who knows the material back and front and is so good as Geralt. And yet, even that, with the bad decision making, you can't save the project.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones season 8, you make bad decision making, you can't save the project. The issue is not the talent, and if it was, this is a problem solved by money, and we have enough of that.
Yeah,
right. That problem solves itself immediately.
That is another part of me that it's just that because they have so much money, and they're at least trying to project this this image of altruism and wanting to save gaming and doing all the right things, pro consumerism, blah 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 blah, and then instead of doing all this stuff that's blatantly obvious that people would do if they had huge sums of money, instead they're doing it to try and make things worse. Do you know what the it's so funny to me. Do you know what the people argument of the most toxic Xbox out there? What the most arguments of there are?
Yeah,
like, you want this deal to fall through? Do you want Bobby Kotick to continue his reign of terror at the company? It's like, don't pretend like that's what you're actually concerned about in this whole thing.
No.
He's, first of all, with the deal going through, he's being given a ton of money.
A payday.
Exactly. A golden parachute to leave.
To be clear, are you... Because I've stayed out of this. Are you telling me their argument is that without Xbox buying out Activision, basically a predator is going to stay in power?
Continues to stay in power, and everyone is going to suffer under.
So that's why Xbox decided to buy Blizzard.
That's the reason.
Activision
They
Blizzard.
actually don't care about the games. This whole thing about Call of Duty, they're just sitting there to the FTC like, we don't care about Call of Duty. In fact,
we just want this guy to step down.
We just don't want this guy to...
Yeah, we just want him to step down by literally giving him a sum on a payday close to the GDP of Brunei. Burundi even.
And I'm like, you think that there aren't other ways? Like, I said to you at the beginning when this whole thing went, I was like, if I was Xbox and I had this enormous sum of wealth and whatnot, what I would do is, rather than give him tons of money to live his life in freedom after being such a terrible cunt, starve him of everything and say, we have cut ties with Activision. We are no longer supporting any of their games because of their management. Until they change, we will not bring them back on our store. Yeah. Like, granted, you're a small part of the pie, but that is a fucking statement to make.
Even better, you purchase the company, do a restructuring, keep him, but he's on minimum wage.
$8.50 an hour.
Yeah, you're on minimum wage. You can stay. We don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. You know, but you need to do work, and you've got KPIs, and if you don't meet them, you're out.
That's it, mate. That's it.
The thing is, as well, like, how hard would it be to say, okay, look, the SEC have made a decision. We were going to acquire Activision Blizzard, and no longer can. In lieu of that, we have decided to dedicate X GDP of Burundi to project. Give me a badass like Greek name.
I was going to say Falcon or something.
Yeah, Project Falcon. Yeah, sick. Project Eagle Freedom.
Because it's American as well. So, yeah.
Project Eagle Freedom Explosion Murder, right? Where we are going to set up 5 things, 5 new development companies, 100% Xbox exclusive. We're going to pay currently 10% above market rate for all talent, with a 5-year timeline to Title 1 for each company. They're going to be in these things, so we're going to have like 2 third person, first party, blah, 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 right? And because we're all about the gamers and gaming and stuff and the kids and shit, we're going to include like a couple of scholarships and bring people from universities straight in.
Yeah.
That is our project. So it's about the gamers and about the people. Because of that, and because of the outlay of funds and stuff, these games will be on Game Pass after 6 months. But we're gonna try something. We want you to buy them.
To help fund everything, Mark.
By the way, we've got 5 years for people to swallow this pill, right? As part of this new project to bring you these games that will compete and that are going to blow your minds. And obviously, they're not going to say like God of War, but they're going to say they're going to be the best in their fields. And basically, you say God of War and The Last of Us without name dropping. We're going to try a new model. They're going to be full price for the first 6 months, after which they'll go to Game Pass. And this is the project. It's Project Eagle, Freedom Explosion, Epic, Constitution or whatever, right? There's 5 years for people to swallow the pill. The games are going to be $70. You got 5 dev houses. You're paying 10% above market, which realistically, when we put $2 billion towards it, is nothing, right? You're copying PlayStation's homework, and in the meantime, we've decided that we already own some great IPs with some of your favorites. Yeah. So we've also agreed. So while we're not telling you what we're making in 5 years' time, Banjo-Kazooie's coming back, right? We've got a 3-year timeline on that. X is coming back. Y is coming. I forget what they own. There's so many, right? Oh, and we've commissioned a project that was already in works with XYZ company to come to us for like 2-month exclusive to us first. Like, spend the money on getting some games on your freaking platform.
I hear you, but I'm going to go in another direction. I'm just going to take games away from other platforms.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good. Because when no one plays, we can't lose.
Exactly.
Yeah, buddy.
This will be our new slogan. We're going to put that in the controller.
Smart.
We're going to put it in the little inlay bit right
That's
there.
what I'm talking about.
And then when you open up the console as well, when you take it apart,
That's
it'll be
what
on
I'm
the
talking
inside.
That's what I'm
there.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do instead.
Yeah. Nothing to play, nothing to lose.
Oh, you see what I mean? That's just the annoying part, is that they have this immense power and immense wealth, and instead they're just trying to hurt other people. That's the thing. And then everyone's like, but they're pro-consumer, and that's just the most annoying part to me.
The other thing is
hypocrisy. I can't take it.
It is the hypocrisy, and the reason that I think, look, is it easy to sell a project that we both agree on here between two of us, right? But with 5 years to swallow the pill, that's a long time to get that perception.
I mean, people forget in a month. Fucking hell.
But also, look at what happened to Cyberpunk. The real trick is Cyberpunk was in the worst state. I've never seen a game as bad as that. And now, what happened? 10 episodes of an anime, and people went back to it, and it works now.
Yeah.
Meaning, what do they really have to do? Just freaking deliver and bring us a Banjo-Kazooie or and a couple of other cool titles in the meantime, and then just bring out some good games. And with 5 years to get we'll be on Game Pass. Yeah. No, it will come to Game Pass. We're just asking that, if you want it early, and we've put in all this money, we just need to see that there is that market for it, and we're going to use how much you're willing to spend, because we can track it to know which of these projects was best.
If only they didn't shoot themselves in the foot with Game Pass. If they didn't do the whole thing where it's like, every game's going to come day one, guys. We are making a promise to you that we're not going to make any money. It's like, you've really shot yourself in the foot, and you can't walk back from that. That's the issue.
And obviously, the one thing they haven't been able to lead PlayStation on is that. Because what I think it really was a play to get PlayStation to starve themselves, and instead PlayStation was like, no, people buy these games, let them buy them.
That's the thing, they didn't count on people actually going, no, but we actually do want quality though.
I will pay
still giving us everything, and you're not giving it to us. So look, and then they're starving themselves.
Let me put it to you this way: if it was movies, right, this is Game Pass to PlayStation's just exclusives. I'm gonna pay for Top Gun Maverick, PlayStation exclusive. Sharknado can come to Netflix for free. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go and see Top Gun.
I still want Top Gun.
I'm gonna go see it in IMAX.
And speaking with prices and Game Pass and stuff like that, Xbox have announced that they are officially going to be joining the likes of PlayStation and EA and all those other anti-consumer people.
Yeah.
But because of PlayStation, but because of their own.
PlayStation forced them.
This isn't their own fault. No, it's PlayStation's fault. And they're going to be charging $70 for their first party games starting in 2023. What's really funny about this is that I think it was just under a year ago, early 2022, they came out and made a big old statement about how charging more for games is not something they're doing because they believe that players deserve a choice. And accessibility is all about people being able to access all kinds of games, because when we all play, we all win.
That's a true statement.
And we said at the time, we're like, that's really interesting for you to say when you've got no games coming out.
Yeah. Right.
And they had no games coming out.
Yeah.
And this is before they delayed Starfield as well.
Yeah.
So, and then it comes to here, and it turns out that they are going to raise the price, because now I guess they're confident Starfield's going to come out pretty soon, and Starfield's going to be $70, and so is Redfall, and so is Forza, all the future games going forward. They haven't. Sorry, go on. You can say something.
I was
about
going
that?
to say, for two guys that are as dumb as we are right all the time about these guys, and you'd think it would get boring, but it doesn't get boring.
No.
It's nice to be right all the time. What gets
Exactly.
boring is what they're doing.
Yes. Again, the thing that pisses me off the most about this is that what this essentially is an assumption that we are all morons.
Yeah.
That's the implication, that we are all fucking idiots and they are the smartest people in the world.
Yep.
And they can pull the wool over our eyes whenever they want. And I don't know when you guys are going to wake up and fucking smell what they're actually giving you, and it's just pure bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I will listen to everything they say and judge each thing independently, accordingly, and go from there.
Yeah.
I knew for a fact that was going to be bullshit, and it turns out we're right here. It's so dumb.
Here's
It's
the
so
thing.
dumb.
Let's say somebody at Microsoft catches this podcast and has the one bright idea, not Microsoft, Xbox division, has the bright idea to bring us on to fix this thing, which I do genuinely think we could. Between the two of us, we've got enough experience in business and life and stuff. We could actually make that plan we just put out. We could make that work. A few more zeros than I'm used to dealing with, but, you know. Next generation, let's say it's not us, like somebody like us, right? Or they steal our idea, which I don't care. Steal the idea, take the idea. I don't give a shit. I want good games. Next generation, I would be happy to switch to Xbox if that's where all the good games were.
Yeah.
Realistically, by the look of things, we'd just be getting both.
Yeah.
Right? But like,
because there's no reason PlayStation would stop making good games, but it's always a possibility.
right? And I could see it. I'll drop PlayStation like that if that's what they do. You know, like, do what's best for you, and what's best for you as a gamer is to have a PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way it is. If that changes, like with the 360, I was a hardcore 360 guy, you know. Thank God we went to the PS4 on my days.
It was close.
I was really
Close.
pushing for it, wasn't I? I was really pushing for it. We dodged a bullet. Never listened to me, bruv. Holy shit. Like, if those changes come into play, I will happily move to Xbox. If that's where all the good games are, if that's where we're getting treated the best, realistically, again, yeah, look, we'll get both. Fine. That's a good place to be, where you have multiple consoles, because I mean, so many amazing games you can't miss out on Xbox exclusives 1 and 2, right?
1 and 2.
Like, that is a great universe to be in. That's not a problem for us. We're not trying to say Xbox is no good. They're being no good.
Yeah.
If they swap, I had a PlayStation and an Xbox up to the 360. So was it an Xbox 2 or was it the original Xbox and then the 360? I forget. But that's at least 2 while having the comparable PlayStation. Like, I'm happy to do it if the good games are there. Like, if the only place for me to play my Halos and Gears of War and stuff when they're good is on Xbox, I'll freaking buy it.
Yeah.
And I'll buy the X. That's what we're like. Like, I want that universe. You know, it's not just because we're crying about Xbox. The worst thing is the hypocrisy in it. They treat us like idiots, and then somehow, we're stupid.
We are.
Xbox aren't real. They're paid actors. Microsoft has all the money in the world.
That's what they've been spending the rest of their money on.
They're just paid actors. No, just go back to your corporate paychecks.
There's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of, I don't want this to sound different, actually. Let me preface what I'm saying is that there are a lot of innocent just people who are just in the middle, just wanting to play games, and they're fine, they're happy, and they just enjoy whatever the hell you like. But the most vocal people, the people that we see the most often, it does seem like they're just unfortunately a little bit mentally deficient. That's what it is. And they're being taken advantage of. They're being told these messages in a very compelling way because Xbox are great showmans.
They're fantastic showmen.
And they're being fooled on this. They're snake oil salesmen, basically. They're just being given all this stuff. And they're buying it, and they're being told that you have to do it, you have to swear allegiance to us and no other person, and they're doing it, and they're trying to then pass on their love for it onto other people. And it's unfortunate because the only people that are losing, unfortunately, is you in that situation, because then you're not playing great games like The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, all these other games that are going to be coming out. And no one on PlayStation is like, no, you don't get to play it. They want you to play it, but you're choosing not to.
Yeah.
And when Halo came out, I didn't want to be left out. I went and got it on PC. I was like, yes, I'm going to go play this. Turns out it wasn't my cup of tea, but I'm not losing out. I'm not the idiot that's going like, no, PlayStation only, nothing else.
To be clear,
it's those idiots that unfortunately saying it.
I want to sort of put a bit of context around that, because the reality is there's more idiots on PlayStation. We've just got the numbers.
It's true. There's
right?
a lot more of them in the numbers.
In terms of the numbers, there's more PlayStation idiots, right? There's more, let's say these are like double-digit IQ kind of guys. Like the Xbox, what they are though, is they're loud. And what Xbox is doing, which PlayStation doesn't bother with because they just make good games. And I'm not saying PlayStation doesn't do marketing, of course they do. But Xbox is more about becoming the cult of Xbox. And so those 90 and below IQ people who have already bought in, and there's a few marketing concepts that as to why people like justify their decisions, are then told, no, this is the best place to be. And it's like that cult of Xbox. And then they get really loud about it because they think they're under attack. They're not under attack. They're just on a sinking ship. The ship's not being attacked. It's just sinking.
Someone must be attacking us. No, it's just sinking.
Right.
It's holes at the bottom.
Yeah, and here's PlayStation saying about like, hey guys, look, if you want good games, just hop on. No, you must have attacked us.
You must have attacked us.
We're sinking. You. Right. We're sinking. The cult of Xbox says we're the best. That means you attacked us.
What's funny is I think there is a podcast called The Cult of Xbox.
Oh no.
Which is just so funny to me. It's like the lack of self-awareness there.
In fairness, Sacred Symbols is kind of a cult of PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're just sort of like...
At least our God's real though.
Anyway, that's the prices that is going up. Now, a lot of people clapped back at the $70 price increase and going, well,
what's going on here?
That just means that there's more value in Game Pass because Game Pass price hasn't gone up.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works. So if they made the price of video games $1,000, that means the price of Game Pass, the value of Game Pass, is increased exponentially.
Yeah. The value of Game Pass is what's on Game Pass.
You should be wanting to increase the quality of the game to increase the value, not the price of games that you don't have to purchase anymore.
All they did was increase the price. They didn't increase the value.
So the value didn't change. The price increased of the game that you're not buying. That's not how that works. And that's what I mean by the single-digit IQ people is they're just unfortunately mentally deficient.
How long before Game Pass goes up?
So that was the big thing, is that even the people that were saying those stupid things, they didn't have an answer for this. It's like, eventually Game Pass is going to go up. Yeah. They clearly didn't want to say this all in the same tweet because it would seem detrimental to them.
Of course.
That everything is crumbling. Have no games. We're not at the Game Awards. And we're raising the price of everything. The one thing people were subscribing to us for was because we were cheap. The one thing we're going to focus...
That's the one thing. This will be telling because I suspect the leading indicator for when the Xbox Game Pass price increases will be their marketing decreases, meaning it's no longer so easy to find Game Pass for 3 months.
Justify it?
You just... Those like marketing contracts just sort of slowly wind down. And then the only way to be on Game Pass, which is the best bang for buck out there, right, which, I mean, it's the only one, pretty much, is you have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
But hey, it's still a really good price, right? Right, guys?
I'm waiting for that day. I'm just waiting for that day that goes up and then I go, okay, now we've got some true prices and we'll see how many we get.
The big problem is there's enough time between all of these things, and who keeps track of Xbox? Like, even their parents don't love them enough to keep track of them, right? Like, that you can never be like, hey, I remember you said this. Like, let's bring up your old tweet. What have you got to say now? Because our old tweets, anything like pro PlayStation, like, either they're right or wrong. We've been right so far. And then I'll be like, yeah, I was wrong, right? Or realistically, yeah, that's what I said would happen. So you said they'll never do this, but here they are doing it. So now, as per our previous discussion, no games, higher prices, higher Game Pass price, still no games. Why should you be on Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least I can get one. Okay, yeah, but that's because no one wants one. It's because no one wants one.
Also, speaking of, you got one, the MPD for November came out for like around Black Friday and everything like that. Despite Xbox Series S being severely discounted, way less than that. I think it was like 189 or something that, from 300 down to 189, and being abundantly available. There was videos of people using them. You know, in stores where you have the line. They have
Yeah.
that tape to make a
Oh,
line.
yeah.
They used Xbox Series S's as like a barricade for walls and whatnot. Despite them being abundantly available, still PlayStation, even with the price increase, they managed to get volume out there, and they were the highest unit sales and highest dollar sales in the.
I was going to say they.
It just shows people are buying what they want, what is good, what is people are.
For our discussion, we'll discount the dollar thing because obviously it's the more expensive console. So forget the money made on PlayStations, but like units sold, that's the important thing. But also, they now apparently have those what was happening with COVID and everything shut down.
The chip shortage.
Yeah, like
got
that's
it
apparently
sorted out.
resolved now.
Yeah.
So
Jim Ryan actually came out. It was like, we have actually
Yeah.
solved the supply issue.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, shit, all right.
So now you're going to be able to get one.
Yeah.
Please God, I hope the scalpers don't get to sell theirs. That would be so good. That would be delicious. But now the supply issue's solved. If you can get a PlayStation 5, why would you get anything else? If you're not an 80 IQ Windows a delicious gamer,
Yeah.
right? Like,
It just seems odd. I mean, there's all this promise coming in the future, and a lot of people could be bought into that.
Yeah.
But you have the here and now. You have proof. You have track record.
I feel like I feel like somebody could come in and be like, these guys are working really hard to make Xbox look bad, but actually what we're doing is presenting Xbox's own activity to you in the lens of like, okay, here's a company that is a gaming company that doesn't make you any games. There's nothing to play there, and whenever they release their numbers, like they're very cagey about anything specific. Why do we never get numbers of the Series X and S alone? Why is that?
For the first time, we got the number of Game Pass subscribers, like actual, because the FTC asked them about it.
Yeah, and they had to show they're working.
They had a target of 35 million by now, and they only have 25 million, so they're 10 million off of that target, which is
In fairness,
massive.
yeah.
Massive.
Well, and their number to break even was 52.
You know me and that number and how late
Here's the
it was,
thing.
but that's how it was back then. Yeah.
That's the thing. That was in 2018, wasn't it? That
2018,
2018, 2019. So pre everything, back when money still had value, they needed 52 million. I think it was 50. We'll call it 50 million users to break even.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years.
I think it's been 7 years since Game Pass started.
Yeah, I believe
double-check
7
that.
years. Let's say 5 again to keep the maths nice and simple. 50 million users to break even. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, it's been 5 years now.
It's been 5 years. They are not even halfway to that number, and costs of everything are up. The value of money is down, and most of those people have some form of free entry, at least in.
Yeah.
Right?
And the price increase is imminent for this service, which is naturally going to deter people from it anyway.
And there's nothing on there.
Yeah.
To be clear, there's nothing on there that is exceptional.
Yeah. And that you can't get anywhere else as well.
Right, exactly. So, and for the record, Game Pass and the Series S makes sense for a bunch of people. That I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if gaming is your primary entertainment form, like really it is for us, and you want to play good games and the best games, like, I'm not saying Xbox is bad. I'm saying look at this stuff from Xbox, and if you don't come to the conclusion that they're bad, well, one, I got something to sell you, and two,
Do you want to buy some magic beans?
yeah, I swear. Like, are you an Eskimo? Here's some snow. It's the best kind of snow, though.
Best kind of stuff.
Like, it's not that we're working to make Xbox look bad. Xbox is bad.
Doing themselves.
Just look at
them to up their
Exhibit A to Z.
I want them to up their game. That's what I want. And
that's the thing as well, because
that's the core of everything that I've been saying. Like the whole money thing with Activision. Like I said, take that money to make something great. Spend that money on great talent. Feed it into the industry. Yeah. All these developers that say they want to unionize because they don't get paid enough or their health benefits, something like that. Microsoft, you have more money than God.
Yeah.
Do something about that.
Yeah.
Not take these games away from PlayStation because you're a spiteful real bitch.
The thing is as well, is like,
I don't want to talk too much more about it, by the way. I've talked a lot about it.
let's skip on then. Let's go.
I don't want to cut you off from what you were
Nah, it's good. We're blessed.
Okay, well, anyway, we spoke a lot about their prices have gone up for games. Very hypocritical. Game Pass price is going to go up eventually. We'll see when that happens right there. And that's how that's going for Xbox. It's not going too well. What's the next thing?
Quick summary on that. If
Yeah.
you're one of these guys that bought a Series X and you're on Game Pass and at the time you were like, yeah, this is a great decision. It probably was. But it's not, but we're not saying you're stupid. We're saying it's okay to realize that that wasn't the best decision. It looked like a good decision at the time. And now, as things have developed, the PlayStation's the better way to go. Just move to PlayStation, man.
Yeah.
Or get one as well. Whatever. I don't know how much money you got. But that's where you should be spending your money, we think, and it would be best for you. And that's why we say it. It's not that, oh, you're stupid. It's like, okay, you made a decision. Fine. And now you see there's a better way to go. Go the better way.
There is one more point I wanted to make.
Yeah.
With the price increase of their games, they can't just increase the price now, because the big argument, I think everyone agrees with this, is that the quality doesn't match what PlayStation's putting out in terms of video
Agreed.
games. Now, PlayStation say that it requires more money because they're putting a lot more effort and a lot more quality into their games.
3D audio,
and then all the
groundbreaking
mocap studios and industry-leading stuff. And I'm like,
the best writers, the best storytelling, the best film creator
exactly.
teams, yeah.
While people may not like the prices going up, at least they're giving you something epic and the best stuff in the industry. Xbox haven't given us anything that's the best in the industry.
No.
So the price increase, I'm going to be so much more critical now.
Yeah.
Because you've increased the price, you got to give us more.
Yeah.
You got to give us better. I want better.
Sony didn't just increase the price. They said, we're doing all this extra, and unfortunately, because of that, the cost of production has gone up. And so to make our money, the price of the games has to go up.
Yeah.
And what Xbox did was went, ooh, we can charge more for these games. It's not how it works.
At least if they put out Starfield and say Starfield was amazing and there we go, look, in order for us to make more of this, we need to upgrade the price.
Yeah.
But instead they've done it first, and it's like, so now I need to trust you.
Yeah.
And your previous work showed no sign of that.
And 700 days between titles, it was kind of a big ask.
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm actually with you. I do hope Starfield's amazing. I don't think it will be.
I think it's going to have issues.
I would say I'm 90% confident that it will just not be good. And I'm 97% confident it's going to have significant issues. Which doesn't mean it won't be good.
You know what my prediction is, what I see happening? I think it's going to have quite a nice story in it. I think it's going to have this nice sort of through line story that goes through. I don't think it's going to be particularly long. I think it's going to be a fair amount, stuff like that. And then the rest of it is just going to be filler noise in the background.
Yeah.
And people are expecting a vast, expansive world where they can travel for years, and someone's going to have 20,000 hours hooked up on their Steam account.
And they've never met the Greybeards.
That's what they're expecting, but it's not going to be like that. That's what my theory is.
No, I agree. I think you're going to have, let's say you've got 10 key story solar systems. You're going to have one actual planet or maybe two in each solar system, and then a million other solar systems where, there are planets, and like how Minecraft randomly generates a world, it'll be that.
Nothing on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section.
Yeah, again, hope to be wrong. If Starfield's amazing, more good games is more better for more gamers. Cool.
Our next topic, according to a leak, this is very, very loose rumor right here, so we don't know what's going on here. Sony is reportedly planning a reboot of the Uncharted series for its 5th installment. So a reboot is going to be happening next. The outlet has heard that from two independent sources that Naughty Dog will not be involved in the reboot as well. So a reboot of Uncharted, and it'll be another game studio entirely that is making the game. How do you feel about that?
I'm not in love with the another studio bit.
Yes.
Which is not to say that there aren't fantastic studios out there. It is to say that when you've made 4 and you're 4 for 4 for bangers, just remake it. The real question is, if it's being remade, how much is it being
It's a reboot. So
that's what I meant. Sorry, that's what I meant. When I say I meant, if it's being rebooted.
In this day and age, we need to be very specific with everything.
If it's being rebooted, how far are they willing to depart from it? Or realistically, and I think it should be I can't think of a play on words of it, but I think they should go to Nathan's door.
Yeah.
And
that's what a lot of people are feeling.
Yeah, and it's technically that's not a reboot. That would be a new set of games. but she can run through basically the same adventures.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's okay. I actually, it's the one series I've really slept on. But like, take those adventures, swap the country. So like, if he was in, shut up, Siri. What's like the most iconic location you can think
Peru.
of? Peru. Okay, cool. So we're not going South America. We'll go to like Egypt or Africa, China. We'll do like Chinese ruins instead, right? There's tons of old stuff in China and Japan and other places in the world. I'm trying to think anywhere. Where were places where there were like castles and stuff?
Where are the places in the world?
Like,
I can only think of America.
Yeah, like we can reboot the whole thing and just do Asian history. Like Korea has thousands of years of history. China's got thousands of years of history. Japan's got thousands of years of history. Do a little thing where it turns out that Australia actually had a bunch of stuff. You know that big rock? That can just be a castle and no one knew about it, right? She finds out about it.
Discovered, isn't it?
Yeah, make it up. Who cares? And it can be basically that exact same blueprint, except now it's the female lead. Oh, never mind. I'm not interested.
You've just ruined it for yourself.
Just thought about that.
Just swap her genitals out.
Yeah, like, swap her genitals around. It's fine.
Changes the whole
And then, but you just take the whole basic same story, slap a new skin on it, slap a new location on it, new protagonist, boom, we're in. It doesn't matter. But it's rebooted.
I have to say, the possibilities I've thought about are, like you said, the daughter. Possibilities I thought, well, obviously, if they're going to reboot, maybe they start again with an entirely new protagonist in this whole thing. But that all of that, and thinking about how it would be done by another studio, none of that excites me. And I was saying not too long ago, I was like, man, do you know, I would really, really like just one more adventure with Nathan Drake. Now, it could be we start off with the daughter, or it is just the daughter, and Nathan comes in midway or something like that.
We've discussed this, haven't we? Where like Nathan gets captured and she saves him, or vice versa.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And I wish I could have that.
And
then hearing all this just sounds weird.
Ragnarok, where we were switching between Atreus and Kratos.
But yeah,
that's known. That's no.
Yeah.
I swear that was known.
Yeah.
Like, we did it in the first game.
Yeah, that's true. But did we?
Yeah. I'm like 90% sure we did.
I don't think we did.
I feel like we did.
Maybe, possibly.
I'm going to Google this. Do you play as Atreus in God of War 2018? Okay, hold on.
I don't think we do.
What cases unplayable? No, that's for Ragnarok. I swear we did.
No.
Okay, whoops. Well, cool. You get to play as Atreus for like 2 seconds.
You also ruined 2018. Now we know we don't play as Atreus.
Damn it!
God damn it.
My that switch, being able to switch in and out here and there, was well paced.
Yeah.
It was good fun. And I think that's perfectly that would be a great way to hand over the torch in a way. But I've got your fix, because Sony owns Spider-Man. Spider-Verse, while it's all going down, Nathan gets pulled into a new world where there's undiscovered treasures.
There you go.
Boom!
We did it, boys.
Nailed it.
We did
Oh
it.
shit! Xbox has the indie games. They've got the Indiana Jones.
Yes, yeah.
So as long as those don't suck, then maybe we've got something to look forward to. Except it's Xbox, but you know.
And are you going to play anything that isn't Harrison Ford? Because they definitely will get Harrison Ford.
There's no way they're getting Harrison Ford.
So, yeah.
But it could be a really good, voice actor that sounds very Harrison Fordy.
Could be.
If it sounds similar to Harrison Ford, I'll be in.
Could be. Okay. That's what's happening there. I'm not particularly optimistic on it.
I would
feel
agree.
A bit underwhelmed. I'm scared for what's going to happen.
I was about to say, like, I would choose to believe that, they're going to give it to the right people and blah, blah. Sony tends to make good decisions. But, one, that actually is a Sony pony thing to say. Two, so far in the last, 5 years, I can't think of any time a project was given to another company where it worked out well.
Yeah.
Like, what springs to mind
Especially
right away
something
is...
so rooted into that company.
Right. And, right away I'm thinking about the GTA stuff, right? I mean, they knew what they had. They knew what they've been asked.
Just a remaster as well.
Right. So actually, a bit of me was like, let's try and remain hopeful. But why? I don't. I don't think I will.
Yeah.
Just give Naughty Dog some free reign here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kick it over to our guys over on the Discord server who wrote in with a few questions. One of them is about So James Gunn recently tweeted about the whole DC universe and what's going to happen with there. Now, he was largely talking about movies and how he's going to create a whole unified universe with all the movies, and it's all going to connect to each other, a bit like the MCU and stuff like that. But he mentioned something interesting. He also mentioned that it'll be connected between movies, TV shows, and video games being canon in all of that mess. And Diogo asks thoughts on James Gunn's tweets regarding the fact that the new DC cinematic universe will involve video games being canon on top of animation and TV. He says, game seems like a bigger leap than any of the other two. I don't know how I feel about this. In general, I want more standalone projects as they have more creative freedom, and I definitely want DC to take definitely don't want DC to take the Marvel route where you kind of need to know everything to understand the story.
Yeah.
The only way I can see the games working is if they're part of a new canon. Part of this new canon is that the games follow some sort of characters that aren't given a live action treatment. So technically they are still canon. That doesn't impact the movies. Thoughts? I absolutely hate this idea.
Me too, and I was going to give a really an example that is as close as possible to working, which is everything on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
If you imagine that all those shows were canon, which I'm sure like the Loki stuff will play a kind of a part as an example, it's a terrible idea because not everybody's going to have seen those shows. And despite everything, while gaming is the best media, it is. Just is. We all know that. And anybody that doesn't, you're probably on Xbox. Who cares what you think?
Or on PC.
Audio versions, you're missing out. That is as easy to come by as possible, right? It is the same sort of media, the same sort of way to consume it. And even that is a terrible way to try and get continuity in. The barrier to games is that, like, your mum is not going to be playing, a Suicide Squad game, right? And getting the story and following it, right? Yeah. It's just not going to happen. But she could watch, maybe your mum's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they could watch the movies and be like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. So I'm a big fan of, like, keeping stuff within its media form. Yeah. Movies, he should be greenlighting more movie projects. And yes, there is some cool stuff from games. Make it into a freaking movie.
Like you said, it's just going to be the same stuff as that. Like, games are the best form of entertainment. Yep. And you can tell an amazing story through a game that you can't do in a movie because of time constraints and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is that movies are more accessible than video games, and that's why...
Way more accessible.
That's why movies have thrived so much more, and they're in the public light, and they get Hollywood, and they get Oscars all the time, and we're just now getting the Game Awards and things like that. It's because it's so much more accessible, and it's easy for even the stupidest person to get into.
It's the reason Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
Exactly.
Is because more people could play it on more forms, i.e. more people could get access to it, right? It's that simple.
And if you do make a connected universe, you can't put something core in a video game because not a lot of people are going to see it.
No.
And then you're dooming the whole universe because only the moviegoers see, all right, we watched Superman, but Batman was actually best in a video game. And it's like, well, okay, then what the fuck, do we know anything about Batman?
The other thing as well is that, like, okay, let's say you don't see a movie in cinemas. 6 months later, it comes to streaming services. You can rent it. You can buy it, right, for quite a reasonable fee, and you only need to invest 2.5, let's say 3, even Justice League 4 hours. You're telling me that you're going to require people to have played a 20+ hour game, at least one between a movie? Like, I don't know about that, and have caught the story. Like, the thing about movies as well is that story, for the most part, is kind of given to you. It's there. So much of these video games, the amazing storytelling is stuff in the background that you get from retellings and breakdown videos on YouTube and stuff. Most movies, especially in the superhero space, aren't like that. There's not that many movies where you really need to watch a breakdown to understand, like, Batman versus Superman. The only thing you need to know is to watch the freaking extended cut for that, right? Or like the Justice League. There's not anything really else to explain, even if you don't know these characters. Like, you can walk into just that movie and be like, oh, that guy's super strong, Aquaman, that guy is super strong and has laser beams and frost breath and can fly and super speed. He seems a bit overpowered. Does he have any weaknesses?
He's God.
Yeah. She's super hot and super strong. And
the other guy's just a retard.
and that guy has planes.
And he has a really cool Mercedes.
Yeah, his superpower is money. And like the android guy, cool.
Yeah.
Right? And like, oh,
Cyborg.
Dark Side.
Come on.
Cyborg, that's
His
it.
name is Cyborg. How can you get that? Android.
No, it's the joke!
Oh, okay, right. I look stupid. Egg on face.
I'm like, there's no way he's explaining the joke to me. Like, and then you're like, okay, villains. Steppenwolf. If you're watching the correct version, that's obviously a villain.
Wow,
he doesn't
that guy
look
is
like
a
a
villain.
sad puppy.
He's not a creep.
Yeah. Oh, and look at his armor, it, like flexes and stuff. It's badass. Yeah. Obviously a villain. And he reports this other guy who's way more powerful. Okay. Right, like you got an idea for it. It's given to you. There's a bunch in like God of War, for example, that isn't given to you.
Yeah.
Right? That fleshes out this world in a way that you really need to. By the way, who finished that game in like 20 hours? I put 40 hours on it. First time just looking around. I don't know how anyone did it in under 35. Besides the point.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Can you see any way of this working?
Well, like Diego said, there is one way he said where he goes like, you'd make the obscure side characters as video games. So technically it's still canon, but they don't really tie into the movies.
But then what's the point?
Then is exactly, then there's no point, then it defeats the whole purpose. But also, then that's making shit video games. You know when you want to make a video game, you start with your best foot forward.
Yeah.
I'm going to make, like if you were going to go, we're going to make a Spider-Man game. We're not going to do Spider-Man though. We're going to do someone stupid down the line. We're going to do Spider-Pig or something like that. It doesn't, you can't start with your back foot. You start with your best foot.
Let me defend Diogo's idea here. 1 second. Now tell me what you think about this.
Go on.
Instead of making full-length video games, right? Let's say we did Suicide Squad, right? And
I was having a chat with people the other day. I just don't like the idea of Suicide Squad, the whole thought of it.
Yeah, I know
don't
what you mean.
like these
It doesn't make
characters coming
sense.
together.
It doesn't make sense.
I know that's the point. They're like
Yeah.
a ragtag group
yeah,
of like
yeah.
unlikely,
and they're expendable,
group.
and
Yeah.
and you're expecting them to die, and how do they beat it?
It's like when I have the Justice League, why would I give a fuck about these
Yeah.
guys? Anyway, go on.
Let's say between Justice League 1 and 2,
Yeah.
if instead of a full-length game, we were like, yo, you guys really enjoyed Captain Boomerang between these games? Here is like basically a demo. Here is like just a fun get to know Captain Boomerang. It's 3 hours long. It's like a beat 'em up, sort of like a Spider-Man. Imagine a Spider-Man demo for 3 hours long, but it's Captain Boomerang instead. And you get to learn a bit more about him, where he responds to a few people, and so they talk about his history a bit, right? And then in the 3 years between the movie, another one comes out, and you're like, hey, we're going to introduce this guy, Idris Elba's character.
Yeah.
Play this demo. This is how he, spoiler alert, he's in Suicide Squad. This is how he got caught. And it's only a few hours long, and you're going to come in and you're like OP because you're like Idris Elba ready to go, and you get taken down by Superman or the Bat or something like that, right? You're going to lose. There's no way of winning, but it's only 3 hours long. It's not a full-length game.
Yeah.
So they're like demos to get to know these people. Or like, how did Harley get caught again? Because she broke out, right? So how did she get as an example, how did she get captured? Here's a 2-hour demo where you're going to play as Harley trying to find the Joker, but we think he's dead in that movie. But you see what I mean? So they're not games.
Yeah.
They're like mini demos just explaining how you got to being where you are when the movie starts.
I get that. That could be interesting.
And then you don't need that, because the movie's going to explain, hey, you have like what was Will Smith's character's thing is you're a hitman and you have a daughter,
Yeah.
and that's your leverage, right? But if you were playing the game, it'd be like, hey, play as Deadshot and see, like, how did they capture Deadshot? Two
a good
hours just to get it. And if you missed it, no one gives a shit. But if you played it, you're like, oh, did you know he actually got captured because XYZ?
They could do origins for a lot of heroes. Like, I'm just thinking, we haven't seen much on how Batman lost his parents.
Batman lost his parents?
I'm sorry, I've ruined it.
I haven't seen the Batman. Oh wait, they don't actually do that's the one
That's
movie.
the one movie they don't
That's
do
the
it.
one movie.
The one movie, you pick the one movie they don't do it.
That's why I forgot the movie, because they didn't have an origin story.
It's a forgettable
How
movie.
did he become Batman?
You just don't know. So you could imagine just a video game.
You play as it's Orphan Simulator, Orphan Creator.
I'm just killing Thomas and by the way in front of your eyes. Roll credits done.
What it should be, the game should should be the intro scene, and the whole thing is one of those, you know, those games where you have to like run and you're controlling every joint in the person's body. It's one of those games where you have to pick up the pearls.
My mother's pearls.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I actually think, in that light, not a bad idea. An actual game.
It doesn't sound compelling enough to want me to buy it. Like, I'm not like, because I'm a DC shill, I'll probably try it out. But it's not like I'm going, oh guys, you guys are excited for fucking the next Last of Us game? Fuck you guys. I'm excited for the origins of Boomerang.
Okay, let me pitch it to you like this, right?
Harley Quinn before the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah. Or it would be something like Harley Quinn. It would be a play on like something like, you know, Protect and Serve. It's their the police thing. It'd be like you know,
Protect and Sever.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
that's from a movie.
I think that is from a movie. But it's like, you know, Harley Quinn behind bars or something like that. Like what she's doing. Anyway, let me pitch you this version of it, right?
Go ahead.
And they appreciate that. I was going to pick Martian Manhunter, and we were going to start on Mars and make it to Earth as an example. Bad idea, because I know you're not a Martian Manhunter simp like I am. But you did like Cyborg.
Yeah.
Let's say we were going to do a Cyborg movie was coming, and they had like not been dicks to Ray Fisher, as an example. What if between Justice League and the movie, it was, and I don't know where the movie would start, right? But it was how did he get from fighting that? Like, does he leave the Justice League? Does he become friends with Bruce? Or does he fuck off and try and like find himself and do stuff? So like, let's find out what happened to Cyborg after that fight to when that movie starts, right? So it might be like, you know, Cyborg update or I don't know, something techie, you know,
Updates.
recoded, you know, something like that. And maybe it's just him dealing with some, okay, maybe he finds something like, you know, the Tesseract, but a DC version of that, that he's looking for it to try and like fix himself. And that's what is the main play in the new movie.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, how does he know about it? Well, that's what we're doing in this like 2-hour, 3-hour game. We're finding out about it and we're trying to find it. And when the game ends, the movie picks up. But you didn't have to play the game to know about it, right? Same with Bruce, right? Let's say we're going to get Batfleck, we're into another movie, right? You're going to spend 3 hours just looking at a screen, getting richer and richer and richer. That's all you do. You're like, man, I'm rich. Oh my God, I'm so rich.
Just every now and again, you ask Alfred for a coffee, and it's just
you light a cigar,
bank accounts going up.
You have $1,000 bill custom made so you can set it on fire to light a cigar. Yeah.
This $1,000 bill is actually worth 10 million.
The Flash game, in between the Flash movie, you're just on a treadmill simulator for 2 hours.
Just seeing how fast you can go.
Yeah, that's right. So I do feel what you're saying, though. I don't know that it would be a massive draw, but if it came, this is the thing. If it was part of their marketing budget, which is a lot to ask, but if it came out as like free to play or cheap to play, and it's like just 2 hours of fun, 3 hours of fun, I think I'd be interested.
I'll tell you something. My prediction, and this is going to go into the Conbros podcast if you're subscribed on Patreon and stuff like that.
Do we still have Patreon?
It's still there.
Okay.
So we could make this public, the Conbros public, because no one's actually paying at the moment.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about that. We might do it like after a month. We'd make it public.
I have some negative feelings towards James Gunn because I don't see what everyone else sees in him.
Do you know what? I totally agree.
Well, we're going to talk more about the other thing afterwards.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a decision that they walk back on. I think that James Gunn doesn't know anything about video games. He doesn't understand how they work, doesn't understand what goes with them, not as much as we do anyway. I think there was an idea pitched to the room, and it was a cool idea between executives who know nothing.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that isn't going to work out, and it's going to fall
hired
through.
a movie director who now has opinions about video games.
Yes.
And that's usually not the right way around to do things.
Yeah. While video games can't, would benefit from a really good movie director who understands storytelling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not the only piece of the puzzle, and it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah, I think there's a reason that we don't ever hear like, oh my god, Martin Scorsese is directing like God of War. What actually happens is a game director does it, and you probably get a movie guy in to help with like the actual direction of scenes.
Yeah. Rarely do they cross paths. I mean, I think Neil Druckmann's the first time that he made The Last of Us and Uncharted and stuff like that, and he's been there, and he's been given the opportunity to direct, I think, 2 episodes from the TV show.
I think it works better that way.
I
think it works really well to get game directors into movies, but not movies into games. It's just not,
Especially because a lot of art is visual, and I don't know how game directors and game narrative writers and stuff like that do things when they can't see the actual thing, when they just see a mocap studio with a guy in a funny outfit. Like, it's crazy how they just come up with that stuff. And even the cameras that they have in their hands that give them like a rough visual representation is all just grey blobs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you even visualize this stuff? It's crazy stuff. The other way, though, you can see it on a screen. The fucking shot's right there. Oh, this lens isn't right. Let me flip that out for another one. You can get it. Anyway, Tailgate does writing with his thoughts on this, and he goes... As for the DC being part of the DC games being part of the DCEU canon thing, I'm split on it. If it can work, but I feel having them tied to the movies can be a creative limitation on the devs.
Yeah.
Say for example, if a developer wants to do Justice League game, where they fight the Dark Multiverse from a Dark Knight's Metal comic book event, but an exec says no because that would conflict with the storyline of a movie, I would prefer it if did what Marvel's game division did. If they did what Marvel's game division is doing, where they hand out character licenses to teams who are passionate about that character and let them do what they want, such as Sucker Punches Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy from Eidos Montreal. It's just how I prefer it. Yeah,
I agree. That is the way to do it. So the Guardians of the Galaxy game doesn't affect the movies in any way.
Yeah.
And it's still amazing and a standalone, and it's perfect. And that seems to be the right way to do it. If that game, let's pretend it was the same cast, if that game had an impact on the next Guardians movie, I think that would be a massive mistake. Because also, like, that means you have an entirely different audience who has control of or who are their perception of the game is incredibly relevant. So like, we all thought it was going to suck because of Marvel Avengers. If Marvel Avengers had come out just before Endgame, it could have tanked Endgame, and that was a great freaking movie.
Yeah.
You know? So I think these things should be kept separate, not because they don't work well together, but because they work better apart. And look, the Spider-Man games are amazing. The Spider-Man movies have been amazing. We can have multiple stories. It
would make way more sense if they said to me, they were like, we're going to make a video game universe for DC and we're going to make a movie universe for DC.
Yeah.
Then it'd be cool. Then it's like, cool, the games, we'd like them to all be connected.
Yeah.
Come to us, we're going to give you guys an overarching story. Done. That makes more sense to me. Then all the people who like video games can choose whether or not to experience it all and whatnot.
Think about how confusing it would be for a movie fan to go to the next Spider-Man movie and fucking Pete walks in and he's like, oh, hey, Miles. And Miles is like, oh, hey, Pete. And then starts climbing up a wall. Everybody would be so confused.
Yeah.
Because they haven't either played the game or... Here's the thing. Most of them won't have seen... A lot of them won't have seen Into the Spider-Verse. Just because it's animated.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a problem. People aren't even seeing movies because they're in a different media form in a movie.
It's still a movie. It's just that it's animated and people won't see it.
And one of the best Spider-Man movies... they're all great, aren't they? But, like... Yeah. Realistically, it's probably the best standalone.
Sun in the palm of your hand.
I'm trying to be better, Otto. It's so good.
Wait, let me get my glider to stab me in the dick. Why the dick? I don't understand why it was that low. It could have been anywhere else. It could have been the chest.
It's so dumb.
No, the dick.
Straight in the dick.
So it has to be closed casket. Because that's the bit you're looking at, an open casket.
Yeah, there's that one little extra door, right?
You know when Peter brings his Osborn's body to he takes the cloth off them. Why is his dick mutilated? What
What did you do to my dad?
Well, that's why he was super angry at him.
Yeah.
Because if he just killed him, he'd be like,
Well,
"There's
people die. He's a
could
villain.
be more to the story here, you know.
Yeah,
I didn't know my father that well, maybe perhaps.
There's no explaining that away. Is
Why
there?
did you fuck up his dick? What's up with that?
Why does it look like a jet made of razor blades crashed into my dad's junk? That's how you killed him? You have superpowers. Break a bear's neck. What are you doing?
What a sadistic motherfucker.
Yeah.
I hate Spider-Man.
Imagine J. Jonah Jameson had found out about that.
Ooh, he'd have all the ammo he needs. Everyone would turn against him. The whole city, whole of New York, just suddenly I'm like, that's Spidey guy.
Yeah, like, watch your dicks, kids. If you don't do your homework, Spider-Man is going to come and mutilate your dick.
Kids just cowering in their beds.
As Spider-Man swings past, all these dudes just suddenly like,
Or like he saves someone and it's like, no, don't touch my dick. It's like, what?
not my dick. Just shoot me.
Please just execute me. Or he pulls out his own gun. Anything but my dick.
Not my dick. Not my dick.
Spider-Man just gets known as the guy who rips
Yeah.
off people's dicks for no reason.
The dick dismemberer.
We've just invented this whole thing.
We suddenly become J. Jonah Jameson. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, bro.
What is he doing with all those dicks? Are they on a mantelpiece in his house? He's just got a trophy jar of dicks.
Just collects them.
He's gonna pickle your dick.
I'm imagining in God of War, you know, the Cavassia
Yeah,
poems
yeah,
all
yeah.
collected. It's just dicks outside of my
It's like 7th and 49th lager.
Oh, God, they're fucking... hundreds of years later, they're like, why is the population drop so low during this time? Oh, that was the great Spider-Man dick period.
Yeah, the dick decapitation of
so bad.
2020.
Oh, boy. Fucking hell.
So anyway, it's not working. Even going from live action to animated, it isn't working.
No.
But so that's a shit idea. But I do like the idea. I do like Diogo's idea of like my take on Diogo's idea of like the almost demos of like, how did this guy end up captured? Like, here's the game we all want to play. That weasel from Suicide Squad 2. Tell me, you've seen Suicide Squad 2, innit?
Oh, the James Gunn one.
The most recent one.
Yeah, yeah. Which one was the weasel again?
At the very beginning, there's like a weasel that drowns.
Oh, yeah.
I want that. I want a 2-hour game.
Apparently it's killed like 70 people or whatever.
Yeah. I want that game. I want to play as that weird, diseased rat, killing a bunch of people in like a Modern Warfare 2-esque, but it's more comedy. And then you get captured like really, really easily, you know. And then like suddenly you're here, like boom. That's what I want, right? Like, anyway, I think that's a good idea where it doesn't impact the movie at all, but it's fun and it's extra. I think that would work.
I'm gonna end the show on one question from our boy BS Bro One Alpha Aquelelele. He said, gaming resolutions. I failed my
Where
gaming
are we?
resolutions.
Oh, let me read out. You
Yeah,
had
go
the
on.
last one. He says gaming resolutions. I failed my gaming resolutions. These are in bold. So. I set last year to start The Witcher 3, and I'm definitely not finishing RDR2 by the end of the year. I gave up on Ancestors, and the Control replay is one for next year instead. I gave up on Ancestors, and the Control replay is one for next year. Control was really good, by the way. I'm glad I listened to you on that. RDR2, shit game, play God of War instead. Exactly. Witcher 3, though, that is a banger. And play the DLC. Seriously, you're missing out. If you don't play Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, you're going to miss like half the game. Resolutions for next year are to try and catch up on games I've missed and play more than the 37 I played this year.
37.
Beast mode.
How does he watch all the TV shows he does and movies he does?
He's a
and
monster.
Play 37 games.
He's a monster. Not counting replays. Jesus Christ. So he played 37 and replayed games. Of those, I obtained all achievements in 11 games.
First of all, achievements don't really mean anything, but that's 11 games, all of them.
I mean, all achievements, that's a platinum, right?
Yeah.
So it's 11 plats.
I mean, it's not equal though, because it's not really, achievements aren't really worth anything.
Oh,
That's the problem.
he's not on PlayStation.
That's it. That's what.
Never mind.
Yeah, everything he
Who
said there
cares?
is just
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, who
It's
cares?
not even an achievement. 37 games on Xbox.
Oh, that's what I was
and
like.
everything.
I was like, he got 11 plats. You care about that, and then I forgot. You didn't.
No.
Worthless.
No.
Wasted time. What are you doing with yourself? Did you achieve your 2022 resolutions this year? What are your new gaming resolutions for next year?
No, I didn't. But I do have a resolution for next year. I do want to get a nice round 10 platinum trophies in meaningful games in the year. Yeah, games that I really like and like identify with and whatnot. I feel like is really cool. I'll get those. Now, there is a bit of side news to this. PlayStation haven't announced officially, this is a rumor at the moment, people close to it, saying that they're going to get rid of those games on the PSN store that give you like cheap platinums that are basically just a platinum game.
I thought those games were there as a joke for platinums.
Well, what it is that there are people out there who really, really love platinums. Find people with great taste.
Yeah.
And they found a gap in the market of people who will pay like $1.99 to get a platinum trophy.
Cool.
And
I mean, look, if you can exploit idiots, you should be allowed to exploit idiots.
Exactly.
Which, look, usually I defend the idiot, which is, the Xbox. Like, look, you shouldn't be. But they are smart enough. They found idiots to buy their shit. It's a free market, bruv.
Now, let me just say, to relieve the stress of everyone, this is just a rumor right now and not an official thing. So we are still, our platinums are still safe, okay? Yeah. Don't worry, guys. As the platinum trophy ambassador here, I am protecting you. I'm on your side. Listen to this fool over here, okay?
Well, very important. I'm actually going to join your side for a minute. If you get the platinums now, they can't take them away from you. Exactly. All they're doing is taking them potentially, vicious rumor, off the store. So you won't have access to them. But if you get them now, then those platinums are forever.
Everyone, let's load up. Let's load up, boys.
It's that famous song, Platinums Are Forever, isn't it? It's
Exactly.
that James Bond title, isn't it?
Platinums are forever. Do you have any resolutions?
Yeah.
Just to be a bit more specific on my thing, I want a platinum Cyberpunk 2077 because I was close to that anyway.
Interesting, yeah.
I would like to get the platinum trophy for The Witcher 3, but when I first tried it, I was like, man, I have to play everything on Death March.
Yeah.
That's a tough job.
And I watched you play, and
I play it the best way, the pure way. I'm not going to infect my body with all these
with things like
toxic
skill
potions, and I'm not going to besmirch my blade by rubbing terrible oils on them. I'm going to do everything pure as the Witcher grandfather before me did.
Right.
As
You're
Vesemir
going to be a mutant pure blood, is what you're saying. That's really what you're saying.
There was no point in making me a mutant in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm just playing as a human.
Getting back to, you're like, your version of Geralt was like, hey, I found these books, this dude from Germany, and like I don't know what the 1930s are, but he's talking about pure blood, maintaining,
my Aryan hair.
Apparently he'd love me. I got light-colored eyes, light hair. I mean,
I don't think I'm not going to use any potions to regain health. I'm going to use bread, like food and stuff like that.
Or just rest. Yeah. The in-game days, 3,000 days.
Oh man, this is yeah.
Me, I was thinking about like potentially platinuming God of War as like my first platinum Ragnarok. Yeah. Because, so I had this weird thing where I put on my tweet, I finished it 37 or 38 hours, whatever it was, completed the game as you're supposed to, 5 out of 6 lindworms found,
right?
45 out of 48 ravens.
Yeah.
And the ravens was bugging me. The ravens was really bugging me
that?
because I didn't have enough for the last chest, but I had almost all of them. I think there's 50 in the game or something like that, and I had 45 just from exploring, just naturally finding stuff. That, yeah, I mean, this is one of those weird things because you'd think I'd be really in tune with getting platinums because I explore most of the game. Like I find 90% of 90% of things just because I'm exploring all the time, but I never bother to do stuff. But I wanted to find out the thing with the ravens because I had that theory, and So I went and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to find the Ravens and get enough to do the thing, which I did. And then I was like, you know what? I really didn't enjoy having to do that. I'm not going to platinum this thing. I can't be arsed. I am, however, very rarely does a game make me want to continue to play. So like Ghost of Tsushima is one of the only ones I've ever really replayed very much. That and The Witcher 3. Usually, like Horizon, played it and done. And I'll play the DLC. This, though, I do want to go and find the, the extra locations and stuff, but not enough to like get platinum. So for me, what I do want to do is just play some games and manage my time a little bit better so that I can just play them in big chunks.
Right.
I know that sounds silly, but like it took me so long to play God of War. That's why I've been off Twitter and Discord, because I was just not willing to have Ragnarok spoilers. It is an important game to me. I'm just not willing to even give myself the chance to get spoiled. Right? So like I think I sent 4 tweets in total from the time of starting God of War to finishing it, and I didn't look at Twitter. I just went, tweet, sent my tweet, done. Didn't look at replies or anything. Yeah. That's not true. I replied to a couple of things. So for me, my gaming resolutions are just to play meaningful games and try and batch my playtime so I can really get a good session in.
A nice chunk to experience.
Yeah, like for Ragnarok, I was finding myself like, if I was working from home, I'd be jamming like 30 minutes on my lunch break, or waking up early to get an hour in, 30 minutes on my lunch break, hour afterwards. And really, I want to get like Friday evening to like Sunday night. Boom. Not to grind it out, but just to have a good, solid chunk to sit down and do it.
You don't want to be stuck, finish halfway through a story beat that's like really compelling or something like that. It takes you out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's my big resolution, is to actually like, light some candles, get some Barry White on, and enjoy my self-care time. Just like really make it about me in the game. Yeah. It's in the game. So that's my big resolution. Nothing in terms of titles, really. One other thing, just to summarize my stuff, I'm going to make an effort to play stuff like Starfield.
Yeah?
Which usually I wouldn't care about, but I want to at least be, not just have my opinion of it out there, but be like, no, I actually played a bit of it. Like, I think last year or earlier this year, so I did put some time, put like 10 plus hours on Elden Ring, put easily 5 or 10 on like Sifu, games that we all know I don't like, but I gave them a fair shot. Those games are good. I don't enjoy them.
Yeah,
and I want to go
intelligently of it.
Yeah, I want to play Starfield and be like, I told you it was shit. It is shit. I've put 20 hours on it. It just sucks.
Or it was amazing. I was totally wrong about this.
Yeah, totally.
You're gonna play it, but you're still gonna say
so
the
I
same
can
thing.
so I can give my impartial opinion, which I wish you'd stuck with that cyberpunk thing, like the best game ever.
It is the best game. Best game ever made. You guys are all crazy. What are you talking about? This is a feature.
It's a feature. You need to watch Edge Runners before you go for that Cyberpunk Platinum. Watch Edge Runners.
That'd be.
And it will change your opinion of the game for sure, guaranteed.
Just a shame it's anime, innit?
True, but you can watch it with subs, which is the premier way to watch something.
Right.
You can watch it in a language you don't understand, with voice actors you hate because of their race, not their,
Who am I? Chris Cobra?
Oh yeah, what was that thing he said? That was hilarious. Totally.
We made up there. He's like he doesn't like Ghost of Tsushima. He's a Ghost of Tsushima hater.
That's right.
Because it's racial.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
It's totally racially motivated.
All right, guys, that is the end of the show.
Let me wrap up.
Go on.
Alpha Aquila did say this, so these are for his next year's. He was excited for Alan Wake 2, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Star Trek Resurgence. They haven't even given you a date.
It's never going to come out, bro.
That was due.
Even if they do give a date, they're just going to go past it.
Yeah. And Eridan Shadow Legacy. How about the many games for you next year?
It's far too many. There's so many unannounced games as well. I thought that maybe we'd hear from some of the multiplayer games that PlayStation is going to be making, because they said they've got like 10 coming out before the next financial year happens.
There's no way.
And I'm like, that's March, bro. When are you going to
That's March. There is zero chance. I'm just trying to think.
How are you going to do that? And you haven't even talked about them.
What am I actually excited for? Hogwarts Legacy. I know you're a big fan.
Well, I cannot explain how much
I have some levels of excitement for Hogwarts Legacy and some levels of excitement for Forspoken.
So, if you want to see whether or not that is going to be worth it to you, there is actually a demo of Forspoken out. At the Game Awards, they announced there's a demo for Forspoken. I've downloaded it already, haven't tried it, but I do want to give it a go. Honestly, this could be the nail in the coffin for me because I'm not excited for it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a swift miss.
I'm still keen about it, but it could just be because of how hot the protagonist is. Oh, never mind, vagina.
Dude, did you forget? Vagina.
Damn it. Give me a flopping dong. Come on, that's all I'm asking for. Segue. Cyberpunk, I have a problem.
Go ahead.
You can choose the size of genitals. It's pretty much irrelevant. And they go from small, which is a pretty sizable dong, to like horsecock. I don't know what the guys at CDPR are made of, but like, also, why isn't it a sliding scale?
Yeah,
it should be a sliding scale. It shouldn't be like
two
a big or
things is dumb. Like, there's not even a small, medium, and large. It's just small.
Give me a sliding scale. Go from like 1.8. Let's say 1 small, 1.8 optimal with that gold zone there, so you know what you're aiming for, all the way up to whatever your horse metric is. Same with the boobies. Like it should just be.
See,
done.
I watch far too much porn, so I just thought it was a normal size cock.
Well, fair enough.
There you go. All right. We do need to end it. We are getting very long in the
sorry, boys.
episode now. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. It was a nice meaty episode for you guys for the time that we've missed. Let us know in the comment section how you felt about the TGAs, whether you felt like it was a good one, and everything else that we mentioned in this episode.
Buddy.
Hope you guys are doing good. We'll see you guys sometime soon. If we don't see you by Christmas, maybe we'll see if we can do another episode by then. But if we don't see you by Christmas, then have a good Christmas.
Yeah, good Christmas. Happy New Year and all that. And Conbros Day will be happening. Yeah. We'll have to figure that out when.
Sometime in the future.
But it will.
See you later, boys.
There, boys.